All right, so we're gonna do a poll. Will the Fed raise rates today? Um, Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna get some music going also here. Not really feeling the best this morning. Woke up, got cold chills, sore throat, stuffy nose. Music. They said he's up expectancy to 50%. Let's see if that's right. It's showing 99%. Yeah, I'm showing 99%. What expectancy? Here's the CME Fed Watch tool. Still 99%. We can refresh it. And yeah, still 99%. They're going to pause or skip today. So maybe this is off, but unlikely. Yeah, hit the like button if you can. Now, you're just waking up. Well, yeah, I mean, it's 5. It's 5 a.m. in Texas right now. Again, hit the like button, vote on the poll. Let's get the like buttons up to 20 at least. We got over 20 people here. But yeah. Maybe coffee will help. I'm just cold, man. I woke up cold. My nose was stuffy. I had to put take some Afrin. All right, guys. No, they're not going to raise rates today. They're going to skip or pause, and then probably raise in November. It's very unlikely they're going to raise rates today. All right, so let's see. Yes, but are you talking about the CME Watch tool currently estimates a 40% chance that the rates do move up again before the end of 2023, which would infer that they're going to raise rates not this cycle, which is very unlikely, but next cycle in November. Again, what I've been saying over and over again is the most likely outcome here is that the Fed skips today. They skip or pause today, and then in November they raise rates, and then that's it for the rest of the year. And then in December they pause again. That's my guess. And if we look at what the expectations are, not for this month, but for November, that might be where you're getting the 50%. So again, here's the Fed Watch tool. Here's November. Right now in November, a pause is 72.8% versus 27%. We can look at December. December, it's 61 for a pause. Or no, wait. Okay, so yeah, in December, it's 61% for a pause, 34% for 25 basis points, and 4.4% for 50 basis points. So, I mean, even for the rest of the years, I can refresh this to see. But 99% expecting a skip or a pause today. In November, 73% are expecting a skip or pause. In December, 61.5% are expecting a skip or a pause. And so no matter which way we look at it, it's still very probable. Yeah, I'm looking at these other sites. Yeah, Bloomberg's expecting a pause or a skip as well. Again, you can see that here. So 550 is what we're currently at. They're expecting us to stay at 550, which is a skip. So just unlikely that we're going to raise today. I mean, if we do, it'll tank markets, but unlikely. Well, we just had an inflation increase, so yeah, but coming in 0.1% higher than expected on some of it, and then neutral on the rest, doesn't really signal terrible inflation increases month to month. That is, you know what I mean? Again, I'm not saying we don't, but it's just unlikely, you know. Again, and you guys don't understand, like, generally every time we have these meetings, we get a lot of people that I don't know if they're just trying to be contrarian, or they're really bearish, or they're short biased, or, you know, they want interest rates to go down, or whatever it is, right? Like, I don't know what their bias is there, but for whatever reason, every single FOMC decision, we get a bunch of people that go against the predicted outcome, and it's just very low probability. You know, I cover every one of these and I have for years. I've very rarely seen them go against the predicted outcome, which in this case would be a pause or skip. And so y'all could take the bet on the other side and be contrarian and bet against it. That's fine. It's just unlikely. You know, we're not the ECB. You know, the ECB had split chances of each as well, but this one's very polarized at 99% of analysts predicting a pause today. So it's just unlikely. No, CPI is not today. CPI is every month in the first 2 weeks of the month, right? So generally CPI is each month somewhere between the 9th and the 14th of each month, right? I think it's on like the 12th next month. But yeah, CPI was not this week, it was last week. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, guys. Run those counts up. We appreciate it. All right, guys. So all right, guys. So if you want to do me a favor, you can heart this Twitter post for good luck. Yeah, so it's definitely not today, bro. All good, man. I don't know if my neck is sore from jujitsu or if I'm not feeling great. But, oh, man. Where's AMC at, man? I haven't even looked at it over the last few days. Okay. AMC making a run back. All right. I like it. It's up to 820s now. See if it actually holds. Thoughts on Forex trading? Big market. Big market, a lot of red tape because it's foreign exchange. So a lot of red tape, for lack of a better word. Big potential. Low liquidity sometimes. And so it's got big potential, but low liquidity a lot of the time, unless you trade the perfect pairs and you really know what you're doing. A lot of red tape around it, so hard to get stuff done. But, it's an option. I just don't ever trade it because futures seems more reasonable to me to trade. Futures trading seems more for me. But not against Forex traders. Do your thing, So y'all just aren't going to heart this post. I see you guys. Just know I'm permanently judging you if you don't heart this post. How much time is left till FOMC? We got like, what? We got like 5 hours? Apple green, SPY green, Tesla green. Although Tesla's testing that previous closing price right here. Hey, what's up, Steve? This can't be real. All right, guys. So Kathy Wood said, quote, "We are excited to announce that we have acquired Rise ETF, accelerating ARK's expansion into Europe, UK, and new markets." Good or bad move for them? Let me know. All right, so the SEC warned that more charges against crypto and DeFi exchanges are coming. Who do you think they're going to go after next? I don't know, man. Man, CZ says, The amount of information is just wrong. They got the direction wrong. I loaned $250 million to BAM a while back, not the other way around, and have not taken it back after an article was posted saying questions on mysterious money movements. The American Exchange was involved in a loan to CZ Zhao, documents show. Honestly, bro, you could loan me $250 million, dude, and not worry about paying it back, bro. You know, like, just loan me that money, man. Bro, I don't know how many small cap traders I've seen go from like pushing sketchy small caps to all of a sudden trying to cover like Fed rate hike decisions and everything like that. It's like they realize it's not the move, and just kind of pretend like they never, oh, well, you know, they just kind of pretend like they never did. I mean, I get it, bro. I used to trade penny stocks. I never really pushed one though. Like, I thought they were all crap. I traded them anyway, but my name is John. I expect them to pause or skip today. It's almost certain. Like, they're not going to raise rates today. They're going to pause or skip. All right, I'm feeling a little bit better once I drank my coffee. I'm just hoping I'm not sick. I feel great. I'm gonna put that out into the universe and hope it happens. Hey, what's up, Manny? Hey, y'all hit the like button, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. I know it's still early. It's still 5:40, 6 o'clock market time, 6 something market time. So, but yeah, again, it's almost certain that they're gonna pause or skip today. It's just very unlikely that they're gonna raise rates. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, that's what it is. We're going to start streaming much more before that, but yeah. Well, they're not going to cut rates. That's very unlikely. That's less likely than raising rates. They're not going to cut rates. What are you looking at on the computer right now? I'm mostly looking at news. Like, I've got like Twitter up. Again, if you want to like my Twitter page, we retweet some of this stuff. Again, hit the heart on Twitter. Here's our link. You know, again, hit the heart button on Twitter. We'll see how many people really support this channel. You know, everybody says they do, but like, you know, we'll see. But yeah, we're just looking at news, bro. We're looking at news. We're covering different news stories. It's early, and so we're just kind of looking at different stuff. And hopefully I'm not getting sick. I mean, I've been doing jujitsu freaking every day for a while now. And so I know I'm in close contact with other people, man. I just hope I'm not getting sick. Yeah, we're not going to raise rates today, man. Yeah, it's just unlikely we're going to raise rates. Hey, shout out to everybody that hearted the post. Thanks so much. But yeah, it's just unlikely we're going to raise rates today. I think if Apple can hold 180, we'll fill the gap to 180, 140 and continue to pull back unless Apple wants to go to 200, because after gap fills, stocks always dump afterwards. Not always. A lot of the time, I would say. Can't cut yet. Powell wants 2% inflation. Yeah, we're not going to cut. That's less likely than a rate hike. Again, it's almost certainly we're going to raise, or we're going to pulse today. We're not going to raise. Yeah, I mean, I sleep enough. Like, I slept pretty well. This triangle sold today for 27.1 ETH, $44,000. All right, so Sam Bankman-Fried's father was unhappy with his salary at FTX US, so he emailed Sam Bankman-Fried asking for more money, and then he pulled the quote, "I'm telling your mother, dad move," and looped Sam Bankman-Fried's mom into the email thread as well. It says, quote, "On January 12th, 2022, despite Bankman's employment agreement with FTX US detailing a $200,000 annual salary, Bankman complained to FTX head of administration that he was receiving gross pay of only $16.667 per month, $16,500 per month roughly from FTX US, when he was supposed to be getting $1 million a year starting in December. So that would be a bit more than $80,000 a month gross." Bankman promptly brought his discontent to Bankman-Fried's attention, emailing his son, "Gee, Sam, I don't know what to say here. This is the first I have heard of the $200,000 a year salary, putting Barbara on this." In other words, Bankman lobbied his son to massively increase his own salary, end quote. Yeah, man. And I honestly, in a way, I feel for Sam, dude. Like, I really do, bro. Like, I know people who have really pressuring families. Like, my family is pretty laid back, dude. Like, my family was pretty laid back. You know, you can't be authoritarian with your kids, right? And so, like, the old school logic is like, you need to be really harsh and like really tough on your kids and like, you know, really disciplined. Yeah. You know, but like psychologically, that's not really the healthiest thing for anybody. It just makes people unhappy, is what it does, right? And so generally, the healthiest thing is somewhere in the middle. It's called the authoritative parenting style, right? Or being authoritative with your kids. It means firm but fair, right? It means like you discipline them, but you're not super mean and critical. You're fair with them. Like, you give them like reasonable consequences, stuff like that. That's the most healthy like form of parenting, right? And what it seems like to me is that Sam had a lot of pressure from a lot of different ways. You know, like, imagine like you're put out there as this poster boy of like intelligence and crypto and new age technology, right? Like, you might have a lot of pressure, and then your dad's even coming at you being like, "Yo, like, y'all need to be paying me more. I'm telling your mom, if you're not paying me more, bro, this guy just got a lot of pressure." I feel for him, man. You know, I feel for him. So, I mean, he definitely did some sleazy stuff, but like, I feel for the guy, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna put up a timer since we got a lot of people keep asking me. You know, the timer is in. What time is it right now? It is 6:50 market time. All right, so this is going to be about 7 hours, 23 minutes. Is that right? That might be wrong. Yeah, that's about right. So it's 13 minutes actually. All right. Yeah, this is when the actual rate hike is, guys. We got 7 hours. Yeah, what's the Instacart IPO? CART? Man, dropped from 43 down to 32. Basically dropped like 25%. IPO day. CART is the IPO, right? CART. Right, so the IPO is CART, right? CART. Get Tesla testing that previous close down there. We do have the SPY up there, 443.40s. I don't know what the markets are going to do after this pause or skip. Yeah, I think that's a silly mentality too, Charles. I don't spank my kids or do anything like that. It's just not, it's a slippery slope. I'm just not doing that, I was always the type of kid too, where like spankings did nothing to me. Like my dad will tell me the story. He was like, look, he was like, we never spanked you because it just didn't do anything. He said I would sit there and look at him in his face and say that didn't hurt, and just, and so he just never got anywhere. My dad would get much farther with me when he was disciplining me as a kid by grounding me in my room with no TV, to where I just had to sit there. I have ADHD, so I get bored really, really easily, and so that was like, I hated it. I remember just hating that. No, so I see CART at $43. It opened at $43 yesterday. So it dropped to maybe 25%. Like here's CART right here. This is basically the entire day. Opened up at, 41s, went to 43s, fell all the way down to 32s. Oh, for sure, pawn, 100%, dude. Again, I'm not here to judge other parents, but like, you got better leverage nowadays. Yeah, you might be right, Grom. Again, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. We got 40 likes. I'd love to break over 100 before 7. Looking at our poll numbers, we're pretty split down the middle. 49% say yes, raise rates. 51% say no, we're not going to raise rates. I don't think we raise rates today. I think we pause or skip. Amazon poaches Microsoft's product chief ahead of its annual device event, according to a report. This happened on September 19th. A Bloomberg report said he's shifting base to Amazon. according to Benzinga. So a crazy, listen to this, man. In San Francisco, this guy Gary said he was just forwarded the craziest email from San Francisco parking enforcement. A vehicle used in narcotics trafficking with over $2,600 worth of tickets has been parked for weeks across from the Marina Safeway. A citizen asked to get it removed, and this was the response. They said, quote, and again, this is the director of parking enforcement and traffic in San Francisco. He said, quote, "We are no longer able to tow vehicles for outstanding tickets, no matter the number of tickets or the amount." So why even have parking? You know, like, bro, if they could give you tickets but never enforce them, then like, why even have parking? You know, why not just let people park wherever? Like, why even have tickets? You know what I mean? Just doesn't make sense. Interesting. So NVIDIA CEO just sold a chunk of NVIDIA shares. This is his fourth sell in the last few days. He now has sold $120 million worth of NVIDIA shares in the last few days. I mean, listen, though, to be honest, man, like, I can't really judge it. Of course, it's not like a good thing. NVIDIA guy selling his shares. It's not really like a good thing. But I understand it. Like, if you're the CEO of NVIDIA and your stock has gone from $100, basically like $100 back last year, like less than a year ago, it was at $100. It's now gone up 4 to 5x in a year's period of time. And like, you know, these CEOs, guys, like everybody always quotes these high billion net worths for these CEOs, right? But it's not liquid. Like, that's just equity in their company. And so in order to actually get liquid money from that, they have to sell, you know? So it's like, listen, relative to how many shares this dude actually has, $120 million is not the biggest sum of money. You know, it's not small, but like, to put it into perspective, right? So you got NVIDIA at $435 a share right now, $435 a share, right? Let's figure it out. So he sold $120 million, right? And right now each share is worth $435. So he sold about 275,000 shares. You know, now that is in a much larger pool of shares. And so I'm not saying it's not bad. It's just not the end of the world like they're acting like, you know. All right, so a banker working for the 1.34 trillion asset manager Deutsche pleads guilty to crypto fraud. All right, guys. So, man, in NVIDIA, let's see if it holds, man. Rough few days. I think the real level for NVIDIA is like 425 to 400. If NVIDIA CEO is selling, I'm not buying, Elon stated. Yeah. How do you see NVIDIA? What's up, Alexis? What's up, Steve? Coffee calms down us ADHD folks. Cup of coffee before bed. Yeah, I mean, the problem is like everybody always says like coffee. Again, hit the like button, guys. Let's bump those numbers up, guys. We got 50 likes. Let's make it 100. All right, let's just try to make it 100. We can do it right now. Just try one time. Might feel good. Hit the like button, guys. Do it now. But no, everybody always says they have ADHD, right? But in my opinion, most people don't actually have it. You know, bro, listen, everybody I've encountered says they have ADHD. You know, like everybody I ever meet say they have ADHD, to the point where like everybody's just saying that to excuse their past mistakes and failures in school, right? Like people are just using it to excuse their past mistakes and failures. You know, like that's all it really is, I think. And I'm not saying that's you, Steve. Again, I'm not doubting what you like. Again, when I take ADHD medication, I get kind of like I sit there and do nothing. You know, I was on ADHD medication when I was young. When I take it, I do nothing. Like, I don't get energy. I don't want to go work. I don't want to go do all this crazy stuff. I don't want to move around. I literally just sit on the couch. You know, like I remember I tried ADHD medication a few years ago, and it was like not a mild not a mild one, because I was looking for something to help with my ADHD. And when I would take it, I would literally just sit on the couch and do nothing. I didn't have this big jolt of energy. I would just sit there, and it got to a point where I didn't enjoy it. Right, like it just wasn't fun. Like I didn't like it. Y'all are crazy. Yeah, I never liked being on ADHD medication. It's just not, just not something I. Yeah. If you take caffeine and can sleep, that's a test. Oh yeah, no, I always got like I didn't drink coffee a lot in my life, right? Like I didn't drink coffee a lot in my life because anytime I would try, like if I was really sleepy and I was like, okay, let me drink a coffee because that's like the stereotypical thing that'll keep me awake. Like you said, I would drink it and then fall asleep. You know, I would literally drink a whole cup of coffee and then fall asleep. And so my son has it as well. You know, my son has ADHD, what's called ADHD combined presentation is what it's called. And what I will say is that most people do not have that. Like the way my son behaves is noticeably different than most of the people that are like, oh yeah, I've got ADD or ADHD. It's like, no, y'all don't. Y'all are just saying that. You'll know if somebody actually has it. There's very distinct characteristics. Anyways, NVIDIA bounced it up. Speaking of NVIDIA today, NVIDIA had 432s, 433s. Self-driving cars caused a massive traffic jam in Austin, Texas. Why are they all out at one point? What are they doing out? All right, so former U.S. Congressman Stephen Breyer was sentenced to 1.8 years in prison for insider trading. Dang. 22 months in prison. What did he do? All right, so Stephen Breyer, sentenced to insider trading. He served in Congress from 93 to 2011. Breyer was initially found guilty in March of making nearly $350,000 in insider trading ahead of T-Mobile US's Incorporated 2018 announcement of plans to acquire Sprint and Guidehouse 2019 acquisition of Navigant Consulting Incorporated. Judge Berman says that the former U.S. Congressman must report to prison on November 28th. Breyer says that he will appeal the ruling and did not discuss the conviction while in court. He testified in his own defense. They said he learned of the Sprint deal while playing golf with a government affairs executive at T-Mobile. Yeah, but bro, throughout the last 20 years, we've had so many, throughout the past year or two, we've had so many politicians make these huge trades that are obviously based off of insider information. You know, sometimes information that they're specifically putting out, you know, and so why not actually take it to the actual current politicians, not just ones that stepped out in 2011. You know, that's what I don't understand. So yeah, they're saying an asteroid could collide with Earth in the year 2182. So yeah, in about 159 years from now. The event only has a 1 in 2700 possibility of hitting, though. You know. All right, so look at NVIDIA rip up. We're still watching ARM. ARM is still down. Although we're not down a lot on it, but we're still sitting in ARM. We've been sitting on it for the last few days, and it's been down basically since then. Again, do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's break 100 likes, team. Bro. Okay, so I just got a Wall Street Journal report that said Instacart shares climbed 12% in their trading debut on Tuesday. Did they really? This is the IPO price was $30. So cart closing the day, even though it's down 25% relative to where it opened, was still seen as a positive. See, I don't know if I believe this. You know how they go, man. They'll twist this to sound better than it is because they don't want to admit that it's a failure, especially the funds and the brokers behind this. Yeah, ARM IPO'd as well. Maybe we'll get some good stuff coming through. Again, do me a favor, bump that like count, guys. We got 70 likes. We just need 30 little baby likes to hit 100. We got 200 people here, and it's 7 a.m. Yeah, they say I'm an Aquarius. My birthday's in February. But I'm not a big horoscope guy, you know? Like, I look at horoscopes, again, like, so, you know, you got people who say, like, you know, the people who say they can speak with like past loved ones and stuff like that, right? And they kind of just randomly throw stuff out there and they see if somebody answers it, and then they give really vague things. Like, hey, like, you're really dealing with something right now. Bro, everybody, when they look at themselves, like, yeah, I really am dealing with something right now. Horoscopes are the same way. It's like, oh, you know, you love your friends so much and care for your friends, you know, at a much greater level than everybody else. It's like, of course, anybody looking at that is going to be like, I care for my friends. I do that. You know, like, oh, you've lost somebody big in your past. You know, everybody's had that happen. Like, oh, you know, you don't trust many people, but when you do trust somebody, you really trust them. Oh, man, you know, that's me. You look at things with the sharpest intelligence ever. It's like, oh, that is me. I do look at things with the sharpest intelligence ever. It's like, bro, y'all get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Like, they're just telling people what they want to hear. Like, oh, okay, like, watch. I can look up an Aquarius. I can look up Aquarius personality. Highly intellectual and creative. Anybody reading that's going to be like, oh, that's me, bro. That's me. Highly intellectual and creative. Oh, that's me. Marked by independence. Yep, I'm an independent guy. They don't like to be instructed what to do. Nobody does. Nobody wants to be instructed on what to do. Everybody wants to do it themselves. While they can be social, they are not likely to participate in social interactions unless they truly want to. Like, what does that even mean? Like, of course, everybody's going to be like, yeah, you know, unless they truly want to. Who likes to be forced into participating in things, right? Of course, that's everybody. Everybody doesn't like social interactions unless they want to. These things are so ridiculous, man. But again, people eat these things up, hook, line, and sinker, bro. I see people posting these things on social media all the time, talking about like, yeah, like they base their whole personality around it. Like, yeah, you know, I'm a Virgo, you know, and so now I do Virgo stuff. It's just like, bro, y'all get out of here, man. Like, think about it. Horoscope for Aquarius the other day was tap out to a guillotine. Bro, I got a purple belt in a guillotine yesterday. I tapped a purple belt yesterday with a guillotine, bro. I'm a one-trick pony in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, all I know is a guillotine, but all I'm saying is they better not rush in with their head high, you know, because I'm going to jump on that guillotine quick. And so I've mostly tapped white belts at this point, but I tapped a purple belt with one yesterday. I mean, he tapped me a couple times in our rolling session. It was like a 6-minute rolling session, but I got him once and nobody else got him yesterday. So definitely confidence building. But again, it's kind of a one-trick pony. Like, I also got somebody in an arm triangle yesterday. So like, I'm good at like arm triangles, guillotines. I'm bad with arm bars. I'm bad with rear naked chokes. And I know rear naked chokes is like the easiest sub to hit, but like, I've gotten people's back numerous times. I just don't have the muscle memory to do it. Guillotines feel really instinctual. And apparently I've got a good squeeze, so people tap when I do. But again, we're learning. We're learning. So if the Fed rate increases, then selling the dollar would be a good choice, right? I don't know. I'm not sure what you would do. Generally, a rate hike is going to be if they announce a rate hike today, then that's going to be a shock, a jolt to the system. The market will probably fall. I think the dollar index would probably go up personally if they raise rates today, but I'm not 100% sure, and really we're just kind of speculating on it. Yeah, it's addicting for sure, Alexis. Like I started months ago, and bro, Carol, I'll put it this way: Carol's tired of hearing me talk about it. It really, when it catches you, like it's super addicting, man. Like it's just really fun. Like it's really fun. Um, for me, like in my 30s, it feels really good to go out there and tap like a 20-year-old. You know what I mean? To make them tap. That's a really good feeling. You know. As well as, like I said, yesterday was a great feeling. I tapped a purple belt, which is like, to put it into perspective, a purple belt's been doing jujitsu for like six years at least, usually. Um, maybe not 6 years. A purple belt's been doing it. Yeah, 6 years is probably about right. Like 4 to 6 years. So like they've been doing it a long time. They're one step under brown, which is like a high belt. Again, I'm pretty sure like what happens is they see I'm a white belt, and so they kind of just put themselves in bad spots just to help test me a little bit, and then I end up getting the rear naked choke, and then they stop letting me do it. But until my husband talks about, I can't give him a hug without a leg wrapping around me, and then I'm tapping. Yeah. Guard is not a fun not a fun position. I bought a dummy the other day too, so my kids would practice, because like my kids, they're in it, but like they have no idea what they're doing, you know. And so the first day, so they know no chokes, like no submissions, nothing. So I had to teach my daughter and son both a guillotine yesterday, so they would know, and also a rear naked choke, also a crossface, which is not a choke, but it's a position. So I'm just trying to teach them basics, but they like it. Guys, if the Fed rate increases, then the dollar would be bearish. No, not necessarily. I think if the Fed raises rates, the dollar will probably go up because it'll be a bearish sign for markets. And there's generally an inverse correlation with markets and the dollar. So if the dollar goes up, markets are probably going down. And if the dollar goes down, markets are probably going up. And so I think if they announce a rate hike today, number one, it's going to be outside expectations. It's going to be a shock, right? 99% of people are expecting a pause or a skip today. And so if they do announce a rate hike, again, it's going to be highly unlikely. And so if they do actually announce that, it's going to be a shock to the system, and we'll probably get some very bearish action afterwards, because everybody's going to be panicking because they raise rates unexpectedly. When that happens, if the market's dropping, then the dollar index would probably move up from it, right? So if the market's falling, the dollar index or the Dixie will probably move up from it, but it varies. You know, it's not the most predictable, and the dollar index and the markets movement with each other are not always, again, super predictable or given in terms of outcome. Cross facing is good. Yeah, I mean, cross facing is just uncomfortable. Cross face is when you put your shoulder across the person's neck and jaw. Like, so if you're on top and you push your shoulder, like you put one hand under their head and then you rest your shoulder like on their, like in this area right here. It usually makes them turn their head, but it's really good for passing because you can put that pressure on them, and then they're so worried about creating space from that gives you the opportunity to like pass into like full mount or side control or whatever you want to do. That's the first thing I wanted my kids to learn, because you know my daughter can get kids down, but she can't really pass them super easily, and so I told her, you know, I told her how to do that. Yeah, I remember Rich Franklin, teacher. He was a teacher. He was good. He got clowned by Anderson Silva, but he was good. What's going on with Fernando Cabrera? Yeah, I don't know anything about that. What's going on there? Do you think Chair Powell will be hawkish or dovish? I really don't know. Yeah, I really don't know what he's gonna do. I think he'll probably be a bearish pause. So I think he's gonna pause, but then I think he's going to come out like bearish in his words. Look at Instacart though. We can watch Instacart again. We can look at Nvidia as well. Here's Tesla. Tesla way up there. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, Anderson clowned everybody for sure. But Cart recently IPO'd yesterday, Christian. So it's not an earnings release. It's a IPO. I heard it crashed in the woods, John. Instacart is like Instacart was one of the original companies that allowed you to again hit the like button, guys. We got 80 likes. We need 100. We need 20. Instacart is one of the first companies that offered delivered groceries, right? So you could like think cart, so you could pay somebody to go pick up your groceries for you. The problem with this type of business nowadays is that most grocery stores now allow you to pick it up without having to go in, right? So most grocery stores allow you to order your groceries mobilely and then pick them up and have them basically brought out to your car so you don't have to go inside. Now, that's not the same business as Instacart, but I think it still competes with them enough directly to hurt their business over the last few years, especially when you have like Uber Eats and a bunch of other versions of Instacart now. I still use Instacart, I think, but there's a lot more competitors than there were 3 years ago, and so I think they're a little bit late on their IPO, and a lot of people are saying this. I saw like Money Mitch with Benzinga saying the same thing. They're just a little late on IPO. I think if they IPO'd, earlier, they would have performed better. Yeah, so is the auto worker strike still going on, guys? From what y'all understand? All right, guys. So again, Tesla up there to 267s. SPY at 443.60s. We'll see if it keeps it up. The grocery pickup is an introvert dream when it comes to shopping. Yeah, bro. Honestly, I don't know what it is. Again, I don't know if it's ADHD or what, but bro, I freaking hate the grocery store. Like Carol freaking loves it. Carol is super into going to the grocery store. She's trying to make excuses to go out to the grocery store every day, and she always wants me to go. She's like, "Oh, come on, baby, come with me." And I just hate the grocery store, man. I just don't like it. It's boring. There's nothing to do. You know, like my dad, when I used to go shopping with my dad, bro, right? When I used to go shopping, I wasn't able to buy a lot of stuff, right? Like my dad would make me work for whatever I had, right? So I wasn't able to buy a lot of stuff when I went to the grocery store. And so when we go to the grocery store, I almost get anxiety, even though it's like I have money to buy the groceries, but I almost get like anxiety. It's hard to explain. Like I get stressed out going there, you know, and buying stuff. And Carol's like a textbook over shopper as well. So Carol will go to the grocery store and freaking fill that buggy up. We'll spend like $600 there, you know. And so, yeah, I just hate the grocery store. I don't like going. I avoid it at all costs. I get bored. I'm ready to leave as soon as we get in there. And then it just takes so long. And then you got to sit in line. I'm naturally an introvert, believe it or not. I'm not really an extrovert. I don't like going places. CEO Bar wants 36% increase over 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, I think Instacart's a little bit too late. Yeah, I don't like it. Shopping anxiety. Yeah, I guess that's me. I just don't like it at all, man. I'm just not a big grocery shopper. I got this Superman curl. I'm trying to get rid of it, but hey, whatever. My daughter calls this the Superman curl. I always have it. You see it? My hair is naturally curly. All right, so the 10-year Treasury yields are up to a 16-year peak ahead of the Fed's rate announcement. September could see the fifth straight month of yield increases, up by 25 basis points, widely expected to hold rates. So what does this mean, guys? So what do y'all think we're going to get? I mean, again, we're almost certainly going to pause or skip. Is this true? So again, I can't guarantee this is true or not. I'm reading this. So Whale Wire reported saying, quote, in BitBoy's latest video, He's literally wearing a $350,000 Rolex. He's also begging his followers to send him their money to pay for his legal bills after he was ousted for fraud. The sad part is he's gained over $120,000 in donations. How are people this dumb? Question mark. Again, this was posted by Whale Wire. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just covering the news that we're reading about markets and crypto. All right, see him. Finch and his crazy CNTP. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to raise rates again this month. I mean, anything could happen. It's just unlikely, you know. Usual FOMC day early pop followed by massive sell-off and then V-shaped recovery at 2:30. Maybe. Ford already losing $40,000 per EV being sold, being forced to raise costs. Yeah. AMC back up to 830s today. We'll see if it holds again. Tesla's still technically green. It bounced right off of that previous closing price. So if you're not watching the previous closing price level, it's a big technical spot like you should be paying attention to. You'll see like these bounce happen over and over and over again at the previous closing price. And so yeah, so again, Tesla pull it back. Part of me wants to buy this up a little bit, and I might buy a piece of this right now. It's a little risky, but it's just gonna be a small trade. All right, we got 10 shares of Tesla here. 10 shares. We might need a little bit more than this, actually. Yeah, let's take 25 shares for Tesla here. See if that holds. Right at the VWAP, right over the previous closing price. Held the volume weighted average price. That looks good enough to try. Yeah, I think the people voting that the Fed is going to raise rates today are usually just really bearish and delusional about what's going to happen. It's just so outside the realm of possibility. We're almost certainly going to pause or skip. It's just very unlikely that we're going to, raise rates today. And so for almost half the people voting, yes, it's kind of out there. Again, I think people are really bearish, and I think people want like interest rates to go down and a lot of other stuff. So that makes them overestimate the likelihood of it. But yeah, again, it's almost certain we're not going to raise rates today, guys. All right, guys. All right, guys. So again, we are in Tesla right now, 25 shares. We're down a little bit. We'll see if this holds. Not a big position here. I don't really like it. We're green today, believe it or not. We're just not super green. We're green on Amex, green on SQ, Square, green on Walgreens. Everything else we're red on, but not everything else. Like we're green on Coca-Cola, green on Google, green on Ford, green on Disney. Yeah, we're almost certainly going to pause or skip straight. You know, which is what I'm saying. Like people betting that we're going to raise rates, and again, it being basically half of the votes betting that we're going to raise rates. Like again, if you voted that we're going to raise rates, announce yourself. Explain why. It's all love here. Like again, we can disagree, but it's all love. But if you voted that we're going to raise rates, which again should be about half of you guys, what's your logic behind it? I know a lot of people are going to be saying maybe the ECB raise rates, and so they think that the US is going to. But again, the ECB and the US don't always move parallel to each other. Like it's just not what we do. All right, guys. Yeah, so Kevin's neighbor kept unplugging his Tesla. Why? Use double do rather than double check to make sure mission critical tasks are done correctly. All right, so Tesla bounced. I mean, we're only at 25 shares. Maybe I should add to this. Yeah, I think I'm going to, because this we didn't make enough from this. Where we were correct about our bounce. Yeah, but what? Okay, so we got some good responses here. I'm bearish. Okay, it was me. Gas price is too high. Why not raise inflation going up again? Because we're not asking should they raise rates. We're asking will they raise rates, right? And again, maybe I'll look dumb at the end and, you know, just be wildly wrong. But again, understand, like, the reality of this is that it's very unlikely we're going to raise rates. It's possible. And again, I'm going to tell you guys this. If we do raise rates, it's going to be a jolt, like a freaking shock to the system. But this is not super likely. It's just not super likely that we're going to raise rates today. Where's my other headphones? I think these are broken. Yeah, I'm going to go find my other ones. But yeah, it's just not super probable that we're going to raise rates. And so it's interesting when half the people here vote on that. It's just interesting, but it's all good. We don't really have anything besides rate hike decision today. Jobless claims, Philly Fed index tomorrow, existing home sales, and then Friday we got manufacturing and services PMI, and then next week I believe we got next Thursday we got GDP, Friday we got PCE data. So, and then the next week we'll have non-farm employment change, and then non-farm payrolls and unemployment Friday. The next week after that. Wait, what happened? Did I miss something? I think I did. Yeah. Let me go back. Did I miss some drama in chat pawn? Ooh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I mean, again, people don't understand. Like, pawn, people just don't understand, bro. Like, the way to grow on YouTube is not to go to other people's stream and desperately promote yourself, right? That's just going to burn bridges, get you banned, hurt you in the algorithm, right? Like, it's much better to, like, go to that channel, make friends with that person. You know, you're still, like, other streamers are not going to want to promote you, though. It's just not what's going to happen, you know? Like, the way you grow on YouTube, number one, trading on YouTube's a little saturated right now, I would say. You know, we got in early. Like, so we've been streaming for years, so we got in early. We kind of, you know, but again, I get so many people here that, like, they come to my channel, they're nice, and then they try to plug themselves and they get banned, or they get all and a lot of the time they're mad because a lot of the time they come to my channel and they're nice for like a week and then they get banned, or they don't get banned, but then they try to plug themselves and I'm like, nah, you know, sorry. And then they get mad because they've spent so much time trying to be fake nice is what it is, just so we'll promote them. But in the end, again, the way you grow is not by spamming yourself in other people's chat rooms, right? That's just going to burn bridges, make people pissed off, and like not talk to you and ban you from their rooms. The way you grow on YouTube is putting out content people want to see. I think that's what you do. You put out stuff people want to see. All right, so Tesla did bounce a little bit. Again, I was thinking about adding a little bit more to this. So we're in 30 shares now. Yeah, well, unfortunately, people are easy to manipulate. Yeah, unfortunately, people are easy to manipulate, especially with trading. And so what you'll see happen in trading a lot of the time, man, is you'll just see like what you'll see a lot of the time in trading is you'll see people need to get it. People are desperate to be seen. So they fabricate results, right? They fabricate results. They make it seem like they're more profitable than they are. And again, I'm not claiming to be super profitable. I'm not claiming to be great. I'm not even claiming to be profitable at all. I'm not claiming to be good at trading. We're just a resource and community. You know, I make no guarantees with my trading, and I make sure to tell people that, because again, that's what's like I said, I put out content people want to see. People want to see that. People want to see truth, and that's where we've grown, is from telling people the truth. And of course, it creates some enemies, and like that's normal. People, you know, the truth hurts. A lot of people aren't open to it, especially the companies in which I'm threatening their business model. They don't like that, and so, but it is what it is. They'll deal with it. Yeah, one thing you'll notice too, man, like one thing you'll notice is that the people with people who the most views we've ever had here on a Jerome Powell stream, we had like 8,100 people here simultaneously, like live. We had over 8,000 people here on the Jerome Powell press conference. So like those are my biggest streams by far, followed by FOMC streams, which you'll see today. Like today we'll have like at least 4,000 or 5,000 people here, I would say, maybe less, but yeah. Yeah, I don't like Mullen at all. Yeah, I mean, the way I like, listen, you can gamble, but again, one thing you realize is like the biggest haters on my streams, right? The biggest freaking haters are people who have tried to make the biggest haters are the people who've tried to do what I'm doing, or that like really want to work with me, and then I don't let them for whatever reason. And again, the reason I don't let them is because usually I see something toxic in them, like something super jealous, like something in which like they're not really celebrating my wins with me. And so if somebody's like that, like if I think somebody's toxic or like somebody is not a true supporter of the channel, like it'll come out, right? It'll come out. Maybe I argued with them years ago when they're just petty. Maybe maybe they wanted me to promote them and I said no. Maybe they wanted to come on stream and I said no. Maybe they wanted, whatever it is, right? Those are usually the biggest haters we get, like the biggest haters. Instead of like moving on with their life, a lot of them just get weird. I've had it happen a lot. And so I just try to, again, it's one of the reasons I don't really have guests on the stream anymore. It just brings too much nonsense, too much drama. All right. Yeah, no matter what I do, people are going to get weird. Yeah, there's a lot of other people who are like creating fake accounts to troll me, and like it's self-evident who they are, but like, sometimes they'll go back to their other account and act like it's all fine and good, but like, I know. Again, bringing guests on my show has just been caused weirdness, man. It's just caused weirdness, right? Like I've had a few guests. I had one guest come on my show and he wanted to be my best bud, like my best friend in real life too. Like in real life, like, he wanted to be my friend. And, I think what happened was that I told him one day, I was like, hey, YouTube can be difficult. Like it's not fun sometimes. Like you got to deal with a lot of crap. Like you got to deal with like a lot of different people coming at you, and you got to just kind of be resilient to that type of stuff, And I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna want to do this forever. You know what I mean? And so, and I think I even mentioned like, yeah, maybe one day I'll hire somebody else and they'll run the channel for me or whatever. But obviously I wasn't talking about this person, right? Like obviously I wasn't talking about this person. Then all of a sudden, like the next day, we get bots that like flood my stream. Like not bots, right? I'm pretty sure they were just fake accounts that this person was creating, like fake accounts and coming on my stream, and they were attacking me and then they were praising him, to a point where it was like, all right, bro, And so I'm pretty sure his logic was like, hey, and they were saying things like, hey, let's make this guy co-host. Like we should make him co-host. John sucks. Let's make this guy co-host. I don't know if his logic at the time was like, hey, I'm going to make John. Yeah, Mitch is great. Mitch is my friend. Mitch can come on the show whenever he wants. But yeah, anyways, I'm pretty sure his plan was to like drive me into not wanting to do this anymore and then hiring him to like run the show. But it was so transparent. It was just kind of like, but yeah. Yeah, thin line between love and hate for sure. No, Powell's not going to raise rates today. No, I don't really have any beef with other YouTubers. I don't really, again, I never mention names or talk about other YouTubers ever. It's just not really what I'm trying to do. If the shoe fits in some of these guys, but like, I'm not really trying to start drama. That's not how I grow. I don't ever say names or attack any other channel or YouTube. I could, Jacob, but most of the time what I've experienced, man, and again, there's a scarcity factor, right? Like you can't overproduce content. You know, it's just not my niche. Like I'm more of like economy investing, trading stuff. Like I'm not pure day trader and I don't really want to be. The other thing is like anytime I've ever let other guests come on the show, like I've let other guests come on the show, and not just toxic guests. Like some of them are cool, right? But anytime I've let them come on the show, my views, you know, don't react well to that type of thing, you know. And so what I realized, and I'm not trying to sound like egotistical or like I'm just the greatest ever, but what I realized is like people wanted to watch me, and like when I put somebody else on the show, they really leave most of the time, right? So they want to watch me. When I put another guest on the show, most of the time the count drops, and so I've learned that that's not really worth it either. Right, exactly, Cal. That's exactly what I noticed. Cal said, I think most people are here because of your personality. I feel like if it wasn't here, the views would drop. Yeah, for sure. And that's what I've noticed too, because I've tried to let other streamers come on the show and do their thing, but it almost always gets like bad reactions. Hey, thanks, Stans. I think we slump. Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on if we raise rates. I don't think we're gonna raise rates, though. I think we're probably gonna skip. But yeah, so I don't think we're gonna raise rates. I think we're gonna skip. But who knows? We'll see, man. Yeah, views are weird right now. Yeah, Pawn's been on the show. I like Pawn. Pawn's my main mod because he doesn't actually want that, right? Like I learned very quickly, I can't hire somebody that wants to do the same thing as me. So yeah, I realized I can't hire somebody on the show that wants to be a streamer because then they're just gonna resent me. They're gonna want to piggyback off of me to start their own competitive channel with me, and it's just not gonna work. You know, I learned that pretty quick too. All right, guys. Yeah, FOMC meeting today, man. Y'all ready? Let's see what the poll says. Again, right now, 57%. The poll's getting a little bit better. We got like 400 votes. All right, guys, so we're starting to move up. Tesla at 267.20s, 267.20s. We added to it. I could add a little bit more. I think I will. We'll get 40 shares here up here. 267 is our average. So I just want to get some nice gains if we start pushing up to test highs. And if we don't, I can just cut it. Again, SPY on the right, SPY at 443s. Yeah. I usually trade the E-mini, Todd, and the NASDAQ. All right, so again, Tesla's still moving up. We're in Tesla 40 shares. It's not a big range position, but 40 shares of Tesla is not a small position either. You know, 40 shares of Tesla cost about $11,000. But look, so we just got a big dip. Look at my P&L, like move. So we're green on this trade. But one thing that we haven't seen is the dip. So this is going to dip back down to around here. It just hasn't refreshed yet, but it's going to dip back down. You can kind of see it. You can see it in my P&L because we're way up here, but it's treating me like my average is, you know, like here. So we'll see. Yeah, so there's the pullback. Tesla's the most shorted stock. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most shorted stocks in the market generally. Again, the SPY is up here. We can look at the NASDAQ too. So here's the Q. It's at 370s. 370 50s. AMC is really not that heavily shorted. Like they make it up because they want to, like they tell everybody it's heavily shorted because they're looking for a conspiracy to equal squeeze, but it's not super heavily shorted, to be honest. All right, so David Rosenberg said that a recession is going to happen before spring or by spring, and the S&P will crash 25% or more. All right, so Elon Musk is suing the government with SpaceX. All right, Instacart. Katy Perry selling her music catalog for $225 million. Yeah, so this person said, I told my Tesla to take me to Target and drove me there flawlessly. All right, so interest rates on deposit by bank: Wells Fargo 0.15%, Citibank 0.05%, Chase 0.01%, Bank of America 0.01%, US Bank 0.01%. Rates on alternatives to bank deposits: CDs 5%, money markets 4.5%, Treasury bonds 4%. $200 million or something. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the market might be flat today. Y'all just want to be careful. Do you own penny stock? Is that plural? Is it like deer? Like penny stock? Like, where's the deer at? Like multiple deer out in the wild? Is it plural? Like penny stock? Like multiple penny stocks would be penny stock? Like watch the wild penny stock roam? No, I don't really hold any penny stocks, bro. Yeah, well, hit me up, Todd. Yeah, I'm just kind of trolling about the penny stocks. Yeah, bro. I mean, listen, if you want to meet up when you're down here, just let me know, man. All right, it's hot out here, bro. I got the heater on and the sweater. It's just not a good fit for Texas right now. All right, guys. So AMC at the $8 here. Look at the Q bounce. I'm gonna add a little bit more to my Tesla trade here. I might want a better fill than this, actually. Let me see. There we go. That's a much better fill, but it's all good. Okay, so we're in 50 shares of Tesla. 50 shares of Tesla. 300 mil, yeah. $300 mil. Yeah, I know Sting is big, but 300 mil, man, that's a big one. Hey, what's up, Douglas? All right, guys, FOMC day. I don't think we have any economic data either today. I'm pretty sure we're pretty flat. Yeah, nothing really. We had the NBA mortgage rates. So again, 30-year mortgage rates came out higher than expected. All right, team. What's up, Jack? Warner Bros. Pump. Yeah, where's Disney at this morning? Disney all the way back down to 82s. Again, luckily we took most of our profit off. I could add back some size, but it's such a small trade that I'm in right now. Like, I'll add a little bit to it, but again, we are already green on Disney, and we're not really going to add too much back. It's just taking a little bit too long. So we've got 30 shares at Disney. We're actually nicely green on the day, though. We're up on American Express, PayPal, green. We're green on Oracle, Microsoft, green on Target, Walgreens today. All right, we also bought the little dip in Tesla here. The Q up there to 370s. So we're watching the Q too. No idea why adding money to the parks is a... Yeah, I'm not sure, Alan. Again, I see it as an opportunity to just kind of DCA and average into it. Yeah, usually the market ahead of these FOMC meetings is pretty boring. But yeah, I'm kind of using it as an opportunity to just kind of add to some stocks. Again, I don't see Disney failing. And so what that means is I could probably get a little dip buy opportunity here with it. Name me some stocks that are dipping. Again, I do want to buy up some stocks that are in the September slump. I might buy up HD. Let me see what the PE ratio is of HD real quick. Hold on. All right, Tesla back down. I'll add a couple to this. Ooh, what a terrible fill. We'll sit there. kind of flat on this now. So yeah, so Home Depot ratio of 19. All right, we're gonna add a little bit. I just want to buy up a little bit into yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to add up a little bit into Home Depot. Yeah, I mean, people told me a year ago that Disney was going to drop to 52. It hasn't yet. Hey, buddy. I love you, man. Hey, buddy, I love you. All right, I'll give you a better hug. I'm just... All right. Love Palantir down here too. $1 billion buyback. High might be a good spot if you like it. Now, Palantir is a mid cap that I'm skeptical of. It's an AI stock, so it's going to move with AI. It's just not established enough for me to trust. So yeah, it's just not established enough for me to trust Palantir. I like Palantir. It's just not a big enough company for me to really want. Yeah, we bought a little bit of Home Depot on this dip. Yeah, MGM. They're down a lot too. The only problem is like, I mean, it's not bad, but I don't mind MGM on the dip either. All right. We bought up a little bit of MGM too. They're just down enough. Like if you look at a yearly chart for MGM, they are down like 20% since July and August. So, you know, it's a pretty big dip. Our future is going to be a range until FOMC. I mean, we don't know. I mean, probably. I mean, it's a choppy. Generally, it's choppy. Heading into the FOMC meeting. So like normally it's flat and boring heading into this. Not always though, you know. All right, EBET. What a terrible looking company though, brother. Like EBET. Like who actually wants to buy companies like this though? Like this is a genuine question. I'm not trying to hate, but like look at this thing. It's the worst looking chart I've ever seen. You know, it dropped from $50 post split almost certainly down to 5 cents. $50 down to 5 cents a share. You know, oh wow, it's pumping up from 5 cents all the way to 6.5 cents. It's a terrible company, man. You know, I'm just not trying to buy it. I think the problem, like what happens with companies like this is like people that get stuck, like people bought these things, like bag holders are artificially bullish. And so it's like if you bought this thing when this thing was at $30 a share up here, you know, and you've gotten stubborn and refused to sell, you might act like it's the greatest stock in the world, right? But it's not. It looks bad. Again, I'm not trying to hate on you, but I always tell people, like, if you bring up a penny stock, you better be ready for me to hate on it because penny stocks are usually just really risky. I think more new traders lose more money in penny stocks than anything else. At least I did. And so I'm just trying to protect people from my mistakes. Thanks. This is my first FOMC day in trading. Hey, good luck, man. It's most of the time pretty flat. Yeah. I think some of the marketing for penny stocks can be really persuasive. And like, I've noticed a trend, right? And again, I'm serious. Like, think about this trend. All right. Like, I'm going to tell you the trend that I see here in markets, right? This is what I see. Again, maybe this is wrong, but like, this is what I notice. All right. This is what generally happens, is that you'll see specific influencers, YouTubers, and they'll form a community around one specific stock. Maybe it's AMC, maybe it's whatever, right? GameStop, maybe it's Mullen, maybe it's whatever obscure, sketchy penny stock is out there. What happens is you get a big run up and then you get a big dump down, right? Creating a lot of bag holders. This, like, when a stock runs up big and then falls really big, it creates a lot of bag holders, right? And then you get one main YouTuber that's probably down on his positions in that one specific sketchy penny stock. They start covering that penny stock like crazy, hoping to pump it up a little bit. And you get a lot of other people who are down big with just a lot of confirmation bias, patting each other on the back, talking about how great these companies are. Right? They're like, oh, ABC, it might be down, but it's going to change the game in the future, guys. It's just going to do it. Right? And so over time, this community forms and everybody's losing. Like, everybody's losing money. But they'll put out these conspiracies like next week or next month when XYZ happens. That's when, ABC penny stock is going to go parabolic, guys. It's going to go crazy, right? And then that day comes and goes. And that crazy conspiracy of getting squeezed and pumped up never actually happens, right? Then the person screams manipulation. Then generally the person screams manipulation and says, hey, well, it would have gone up. It would have had a crazy parabolic squeeze if it wasn't for this person's manipulation. They stopped it from happening. I wasn't wrong. They just stopped it from happening. Over time, people lose interest because, again, the stock inevitably turns to like nothing and goes down to zero. And so then a lot of the time they'll take that and they'll just pretend like they never pumped that stock and they'll pivot over. Once they get their mind right a little bit, they'll start covering like FOMC meetings and like rate hike decisions. That's and again, I know we're going to have some people there being like, is that you, John? No, that's not me. I never promoted a penny stock like that ever. Like, I was, no offense, I wasn't gullible enough to do that. It's hard to convince me to spend a lot of money on nonsense. But that's the path. I've seen it happen with a lot of influencers, right? That's almost always what happens, right? They pump a sketchy penny stock. When it doesn't work and they're wrong, they cry manipulation. When that dies down and the penny stock ultimately fails, they move on to promote something else. And then the cycle repeats, or they graduate to broad economics like I'm covering. Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street stuff, man. Aerotine International, cutting edge firm out the Midwest, awaiting imminent patent approval on a number of radar detectors with both civilian and military use. Now, selling garbage to garbage bin, is what they say. Hey, shout out to my guy right here. Thanks so much for the donation. Scorpion, can you look at CRO? Yeah, I mean, listen, I appreciate the dono, brother, but if it's not a good looking penny stock, I'm going to say it. All right. All right, so Scorpion, it sounds like this is a cryptocurrency. Yeah, it sounds like this is a cryptocurrency. Is this a England stock? Or are you talking about Kronos? You talking about Kronos? Which one, bro? I appreciate the dono, brother, but which one? Okay, Kronos, gotcha. I mean, I'm not really the biggest crypto analyst, brother, but I appreciate the donation, but I'll check it out. Let me see. Again, you got to be prepared. Same concept here with crypto, bro. Okay, so this is crypto.com coin. I mean, it's higher than it IPO'd or ICO'd, but it's basically right where it started. And so again, I don't think this necessarily looks good. Again, it started off right down here at like 19 cents or at 0.019, ripped all the way up to almost $1 a token, and now it's right back down to like 5 cents. So it went from basically 2 cents here, and so from 2019 to 2023, almost 2024, it's only gone from 2 to 5 cents. And so that's not really the best long-term chart, brother. I appreciate the donation, man. I think maybe this isn't the most fair way to look at it, and so maybe we can look at a shorter time frame since we have had the big bear market. But even over the last year, it's been really rough. And I don't know much about crypto.com, but it looks sketchy to me, bro. Maybe I'm wrong though. I don't know much about this one. So good luck. If you're in it, I hope you make money, bro. Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia tried to break the previous close and then rejected and came back down here. So all right, guys. Looks like Nvidia. Yeah, we're looking at Nvidia. Hey, what's up, Volt, guys? Again, I mean, I appreciate the support, but I don't know anything about Volt, and so of course I'm not going to tell my followers to buy it. But I hope it goes up for you guys. I genuinely hope it makes y'all money. Good luck. Yeah, it's got a fully diluted market cap of 15.5 billion. So it's a very small cap. So there's just a lot of risk. So y'all be careful. I don't know if it's going to go up or not, but good luck. All right, so again, we've been in Tesla for a few minutes now. We're all the way back up to 55s. No, I haven't. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, man. Elf pullback. What is Elf? Isn't Elf energy of some sort or no? Yeah, I don't know about Elf either. Yeah, I mean, the problem with crypto though right now, like even Volt, right? Volt's very young and new, and so anything could happen. But crypto itself in a bear market, and this coin being less than a year old, I hope it goes up for you guys. I just don't know. It's not really my wheelhouse to say, So, I mean, of course, I can't recommend anybody here buy it because it's just not established enough, and it's a very small market cap. But I hope it goes up for you all. I hope Fed considers current situation also in addition to numbers and not hike rates. Yeah, the Fed's almost certainly not going to raise rates today. Okay, so a beauty supply company, modern day Liz Claiborne. Yeah, I don't know anything about Elf either. All right, there goes Tesla pop. So Tesla up in pre. I'm going to sit on this a little bit. Again, we're going to sit on this a little bit, see if we get some better movement here. We're in 50 shares or so. But Tesla did hold at the VWAP level that we were looking for. Still moving up a little bit. Not a big straight. Again, 50 shares. EBET starting to run up a little bit. Again, we got AMC up here. We got NVIDIA. NVIDIA's trying to come back up as well, but it's a tough one. Google doing well. Microsoft. Slight green day for Microsoft. Home Depot. We're just trying. Again, anything else that looks good? ARM. ARM IPO is trying to. We just took 10 shares off just to lock some in on Tesla. Not much of the position. We still got almost 50 shares left. Just a small trade. Look at ARM though. So microchip's starting to come back a little bit. We could also look at NVIDIA to see if they do anything special here. Again, NVIDIA trying to come back too. Crow will never pump until it does. Maybe. All right, Tesla, guys. Wow. Going in, locking in some more because we can. Broke the highs. Might as well lock it in, I guess. And then now we'll just sit on the rest, let the rest work. That way we're protected. We've already taken profits. So like even if it turns against us, we're still good. Pretty good day stock trading. Again, Amex doing better too. Again, look at NVIDIA rise. So NVIDIA is helping everything too. Okay, got you, Skelly. I don't stake crypto. There's too much risk. Most of today's runners were small pennies. Yeah, so we had, let's take a look at what Pawn posted. All right, so in the Discord, Pawn posted RNAZ. So here's the penny stocks that ran. RNAZ up to 81 cents. We got FRTX gapping up. Looks the same. EBET, HSTO. We already covered EBT. HSTO is up. I just don't like trading penny stocks, man. Although there's some edge doing it. These are just not my wheelhouse. What's like AMD doing? AMD's up there as well with NVIDIA at 434s. Where are people spending Bitcoin? I think most people buying Bitcoin are investing in it. I don't think people are using Bitcoin unless they're using it to like buy ETH or whatever, or not buy ETH, buy Tether or USDC or whatever it is, right? I think people are using it for that, but Uh, but I think those are mostly ETH on the ERC20 blockchain anyway. And so I think most people are holding Bitcoin kind of like gold as just an investment or inflationary hedge. I think some people are leverage trading it with like derivatives, but I think most people are just, sitting on it. All right, guys. All right, remember today's FOMC day. So again, we're in Tesla still, slightly green, scaled out of some of it. We'll see if it holds and keeps running. Nvidia looks like it wants to make a test of that previous closing price. No, Angel, no. FOMC day fear of the markets. Yeah, it might be sideways choppiness today, man. Like we might just get flat out choppy sideways neutral activity today. Yeah, most people are just holding Bitcoin like an investment. Again, we're in Tesla. We bought a little bit of Home Depot this morning as well. A little bit of MGM also here. Where's Apple today? Apple is slightly red. Although I think Apple had a green day yesterday too. Yeah, so Apple green yesterday, green the day before, slightly red in pre-market, but basically similar to Nvidia. A lot of stocks look like Nvidia here. So again, you can kind of see this light blue line is the previous closing price. It's the level at which stocks go from red to green, green to red. You can see Nvidia kind of consolidating like around that level. If it can break back over this, it'll technically be green on the day. So yeah, if Nvidia can go like this, it'll be green on the day, and then that might influence the rest of the market leading into the FOMC meeting this morning or this evening. Another interest hike won't do anything. We got 10 rate hikes in 1 year. I mean, it'll do something. It's not going to do nothing. It's going to be a use for it. It's going to, again, more rate hikes does more for combating inflation long term, right? The problem is that it ends up causing short term pain in markets. And so, we can raise rates today. And if we do, it's going to do more for inflation damage. Like it's going to help inflation problems, certainly more than not raising rates. But the risk of it is that it pushes other businesses, specifically banks, towards closer to failure. You know what I mean? So like we can raise rates, but it's less likely that we're going to. But like we can raise rates. But if we do, again, it's something in which like it sets us up for failure a little bit more. Is the rate hikes already priced in the market? Probably. How tall am I? I'm like 5'10 and a half, 5'11, like somewhere in between. With shoes on, I'm a little bit over 5'11. Without shoes on, I'm like 5'10 and 3/4 or so. 5'10, 5'11. Are you still investing in Disney's? What a good entry. Yeah, I mean, I'm already out of Disney a lot. Like I bought Disney and then I sold on the latest run up to 85 to 86. But I'm still in it now. Like I added a little bit more to it this morning as well. So like if you look at Disney here, like I'm green on the open, I'm green on the day, and my average price is 81s. And I did add a little bit more to it today, but again, my average price is way down here. And I've been in this one for days. And so I actually took most of my profit when Disney ripped up you can see it ripped up to basically 86 bucks. I took a lot of my profit off around then. And we're still in 30 shares, but it's a small trade. And so, yeah, I'm 510.769 pi, repeating to the third degree. Anyways, I could have just lied and said I'm 6 foot, but I'm not. And trust me, anybody that's my height, which is like right under 6 foot, I want to lie and say I'm 6 foot, but I'm honest. If Papa wants SPY down, SPY go down, SPY goes down. John, is there a script for that? Yeah, it's a TOS script, Maximus. So this is a script that shows the previous closing price. Yeah, I really want to claim to be 6 foot, but I'm not. And again, for somebody my height, it's tempting to tell people I'm 6 foot, especially with like sneakers on. I look close to like I'm 6 foot, but I see too many social media pages where they're like busting out the ruler, they're busting out the tape measure, and they're like, how tall are you? And then they get caught lying. And so I'm just gonna be honest. 5'12 and a half. Got it. How tall are you when you stand on your money? Oh, 30 million feet high, A new mohawk will get you there. Yeah, I'll be like Hawk and Cobra Kai. I'll get a hawk tattoo. Yeah, for sure, Cal. Minimum requirement to be a high value man is 6 feet, 6 inches, and 6 figures. Well, I disagree. I mean, listen, I understand your logic. I think to a certain extent, yes. But I think the thing with money is that money can heal a lot of wounds, Like, I would say that's true unless you have over $1 million, and then they don't care how tall you are, And so I think it depends I think that's true to a certain extent. I'm not going to talk about the middle one because that's just, your mind's in the gutter there. But I'm talking about height and money wise. I think that might be true. They're gonna be really critical of your height. If you make less than 50K, you make over 50K, or you make over $1 million, they're not gonna care what height you are. They get Disney at $82. Yeah, I've seen those leg extension surgeries. I'm not short enough to where I'd ever even consider that. Yeah. Like maybe if I was like 5'2" or 5'3", and I know some friends. Like I had a friend that like was like 5'2", and he had like Napoleon complex, where he was just a jerk and mean to everybody. Yeah. The funny thing is, like, I'm like the runt on my dad's side too. Like my female cousins and aunts are like 5'11", 6 foot. So like I really am like the runt of my dad's side. My dad's like 6'2". My female cousins are very tall. But my mom's side's really short. She's a little Cajun. She's Cajun, and so she's shorter. And her side is short in general. And my wife's side is short too. Anyways, I'm watching Disney. It's up a little bit. Again, we bought MGM. We bought a little bit of Home Depot. We're still in Tesla, although we've taken like a quarter of the position off. Still green on the rest. And again, we can let the rest be a little bit more loose here. We can just let it work. Hey, thanks, Manny. Yeah, I'm tall enough where I can claim to be 6 foot anyway, so like it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. I hope my son grows. My son's a little bit shorter for his age, and so I worry about him. I think he'd be fine. I didn't grow like I was really short until I like 6th or 7th grade, and then I grew like much taller within like a year. But nowadays they say they can predict your height when you're like really young, which I don't know if it's true or not. But I've heard some doctors say that they can predict your kid's height when they're really young, and that the whole growth spurts at different parts of their life in childhood is not true, which I don't know if I believe or not. But all right, guys. So again, we're FOMC day. And again, just to put this into perspective, the reason the Fed raises rates is to discourage spending, right? Like they want to discourage spending. And the way it works is the Fed raises rates. If inflation is really bad, the Fed chooses to raise rates. But there's a lot more nuance to that. Like again, inflation could still be considered bad, but it's all relative to the current economic market. But for instance, like over the last year and a half, we've had a lot of rate hikes to a point where the banks that failed earlier this year were mostly blaming the rate hikes on their failures, like the regional bank failures earlier in March and April of this year. We're mostly blaming those failures on the rate hikes, right? And again, the Fed raises rates in order to discourage spending. When they raise rates, it makes banking with mostly like bond purchases more expensive for banks, and banks in turn raise interest rates to consumers when the federal funds rate goes up or is raised by the Fed. When banks raise interest rates to consumers, because again, their margins are hurt by the rate hikes, consumers in turn stop purchasing as much. They stop buying as much. And when consumers stop buying as much, rates go down. Interest rates drop and prices drop. That is the logic of rate hikes. That is why the Fed chooses to raise rates, is to discourage spending. That's all you need to know, really. Rate hikes means the Fed is trying to discourage spending. When they discourage spending, prices go down, because when people stop spending as much, in turn, businesses must lower prices to compensate and still be competitive. So that's the cycle of it. But at this point, we've had so many rate hikes over the last year and a half. The Fed is taking a more cautious approach, data-dependent approach, they're saying. And again, but with these, it's almost certain that we're going to come in what's expected, which is a pause or a skip, which is no rate hike. We're keeping it at 525 to 550. And so it's almost certain that we're going to come in with no rate hike today. Again, whatever, I see a lot of people voting for a rate hike today. I think that's confirmation bias. I think that's what they want to happen, but I don't think it's the probable thing. I think most likely we're going to pause or skip today, and then we're going to raise rates in November is my guess. Although I still think, looking at the percentages in November, most people expect a pause or a skip in November and then a rate hike in December is what actually the polls show on the CME Fed Watch Tool page. So I think, but it's much more split than the 99 to 1% today in terms of pause versus rate hikes. So 99% of people, analysts, banks, whatever, think we're going to pause or skip today. 1% or less of people think that we're actually going to raise rates today. And so again, it's highly unlikely. But what that means is that if we do shock people and raise rates, it will most likely mean bearish stock market action. Like the market will probably dip from it because it's such a unexpected thing, if that makes sense. And so that's why they do it. That's what the rate hike cycle is. And again, it's a balancing act. Again, more aggressive rate hikes means more short-term pain in markets, but more long-term damage to inflation. And so they play off of each other, right? So a really aggressive rate hike system is going to cause short-term pain in markets. Because why? Because the point of that is to discourage spending. If you once you understand the logic, it makes sense, right? So the point of that is to discourage spending. And in order to do that, when spending stops, people stop buying, and so, yeah, that's the point. That's the cycle. Again, let me know what you guys think is going to happen. What's going to matter more so than the actual outcome of the decision, which is almost certainly going to be a pause or a skip, is going to be what Jerome Powell says during the cycle, right? It's going to be what he says during this press conference. So at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, they're going to announce the rate hike decision. We will be streaming the entire thing live like we always do. So that's at 2 p.m. today. And then at 2:30, they're going to do the press conference with Powell, where he's going to talk about whether he's dovish or hawkish. Dovish meaning pushing for an expanding monetary policy with less rate hikes, or hawkish meaning pushing for a more restrictive and contracting monetary policy with pauses or skips, with no rate hikes, is dovish. I mean, so dovish means pushing for more expanding markets where we're not raising rates. Hawkish meaning more aggressive rate hikes, more aggressive monetary pushbacks and inflation. And so again, that's going to matter more than anything else. And so the market will probably move on the rate hike announcement, especially if it's outside of expectations. But if it's within expectations, the more important thing to watch is what Powell says during the interview at 2:30. And again, we're going to stream the entire thing live like we always do. But that's what to expect from all of this. That's what all of this means. You hear people talking about raising rates and federal funds rates and interest rates and banks and hawkish, dovish. Again, hawkish basically is bearish. It just means more aggressive rate hikes. They're more trying to push down markets. Dovish means the opposite. It means more easing into rate hikes, less aggressive rate hikes, or no rate hikes at all, or rate cuts, and not focusing on inflation combating. In my opinion, 25 basis points with dovish speech. I disagree, but maybe y'all are right. I don't know. Yeah, again, I used to have a friend that was really short, and he was just the meanest dude ever. Like, this dude was just mean. Like, what would happen is like what happened a few different times with this guy is like he would like different girls, and like they would meet me, and they would never like him, right? But like they would meet me, and then they would kind of like, I remember like I dated a couple different girls that he was like into, but they never really went for him. And that just made him really insecure and really weird with me over time. And he was my friend, but like it had this weird nuance to it where it was like he was my friend, but like he was kind of getting weird. Wreck-It Powell. Yeah, we'll see what Powell does. You get Disney bouncing up. I'm in MGM too. I bought a little bit of MGM. I'm not sure what it's going to do. Tesla also dipping down around the VWAP. Here's Disney right here. We can also look at the NASDAQ here, the Q. The Q at 370s, 370.50s. We'll see if it holds. I'm just ready for the September slump to be over with because it's kind of boring after a certain point. September slow September, whatever you want to call it, it's just boring. All right, Tesla here. I might add a little bit back to Tesla because I can. I mean, we're still green, but I could fix my average a little bit. So we added a little bit more, but I think it hurt my average. Q bouncing up. Look at the NASDAQ bouncing right at the volume weighted average price. Look at the Tesla stock bouncing right at the VWAP here. Purple line is the volume weighted average price. Yeah, I mean, the whole market's going to be kind of boring. Well, no, it's not their fault. I mean, if I was them, I probably wouldn't have gone with him anyway, but yeah, it's not their fault. It's not the women's fault that he was weird and angry. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. See if I can get in on this bid price entry. No. All right, there we go. We got a little fill. Nice part is we got a cushion, and we can let this test the volume weighted average price now to see if it actually holds. Let's see if we pop up. Yeah, look at the Q. So NASDAQ ripping up, Tesla pushing back up too. Tesla's been in this really obvious trend here, which is kind of what I've been attacking. So if we draw this trend, what the heck have I done? All right, so again, here's Tesla's trend. Been in this really obvious trend. Look at that. So that's the trend. It's not the best looking trend here. But nice little action. Tesla bouncing back up. You can see the NASDAQ, the SPY, the Q moving back up too. All right, team. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to take profits here. I think I'm going to just let it ride. We already got a cushion locked in on the day, profit on the day locked in, so we don't need to worry too much. All right, guys. Yeah, Tesla pop it up. All right, team. We are getting some moves up. Um, yeah, man, I'm covering that Mark Cuban loses. Mark Cuban lost almost 900K. All right, so yeah, Mark Cuban almost 900K in a crypto scam. We're covering it. All right, team. Yeah, so apparently, like what the hackers did, and we covered this. We covered this yesterday. But apparently, what the hackers did was they like hacked into him, and they were watching him somehow, and they waited. They waited for him to make a move, and then they watched his MetaMask and got his login information and drained it. Is what I'm gathering. I'm not 100% sure if this is right, but I'm pretty sure. Interesting. All right, we're gonna put the time back up, or the music back up. You think FOMC will move the market today? I think what's going to move the markets more than the actual announcement is what Powell says. I think Powell will move markets today. So I think Powell. Yeah, but I mean, I think V, you're looking at it too one-dimensionally, right? So like Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin is like online gold, right? There's a finite amount of them left, and eventually they'll all be mined, which gives it value in online, right? The same reason gold has value. Why does gold have value? Is because there's a finite of it in the world. There's a finite amount of them in the world. It's hard to get, and it's hard to mine Bitcoin. Like, it's hard to mine Bitcoin, and over time, more and more of that gold will be taken from the world. And so over time, it appreciates, at the very least, keeping up with inflation, right? That's the way you need to look at Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin's not the US dollar. It never was supposed to be. It never was used in that way. You know, the biggest argument I see a lot of people make against crypto is they'll say, oh, well, it's not, it's too unstable to be an actual cryptocurrency, or to be an actual currency. But they're looking at it like it's the US dollar, and it's more like gold, specifically Bitcoin at least. All right, so we just locked in some more profit here since we can. Didn't get the best fill on the last little bit, but it's all good. I've already locked some in. We'll let the rest ride. Look at the Q pop up. Again, Tesla's still in this trend. You see we hold in that trend. We started to break the top. Watch the Q, which is the NASDAQ as well here. So the Q's trying also. Bitcoin is heavily used, V, in the world. Bitcoin is used for different stuff. It's a store of value. You can use it as a currency. You can use it, again, where I used crypto the most, and I'm still kind of bummed because I never actually had I should have left more, but like when I was playing online poker, every time I would try to deposit, my credit card would flag it. My credit card company would flag it, right? Eventually, I just bought Bitcoin, and I used that to deposit into it, and it worked great. Unfortunately, this was when Bitcoin was like $200 each. I wish I would have bought more. I'll put it that way. I wish I would have bought more. Yeah, and the interesting thing about crypto, man, is like people, like you'll get a lot of conservative people that are like, and I'm not political at all. So like, I'm not political at all. I don't, but you'll get a lot of conservative people, and they'll be like, yeah, don't trust the government. Don't trust the government. Don't trust the financial system. Yeah, and then when it's like. And then when it's like a definanced system comes out, monetary system comes out that's not attached to the banks, that's not attached to the government, then they criticize it and they hate on it. There's a reason the government's criticizing like cryptocurrency and trying to go after it. Think about it. It's because it takes the power away from the banks, and the banks do not like it. I promise the banks do not like it, and the banks run the world too. Right, so the banks run the world. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Q is still ripping up. So the NASDAQ just broke over 370s. So the NASDAQ over 370s. Yeah, I mean, the banks run the world. Every time in the history of the world, maybe not the history, in the history of the US, every time a political leader has tried to take us off of the private banknote system and put us on a value-based currency. Lincoln did it with the greenbacks shortly after, Kennedy did it as well shortly after, and so every time they try to take us off the private banknote system, put us on a value-based currency, something bad happens. Banks run the world. Anyways, the Q up there to 370s. I'm not saying they're to blame for it. Again, I'm not even saying it is the banks. All I'm saying is the banks run the world. And a lot of the time that's connected with big oil as well. So like big oil or banks, they're the ones that really run the world. MGM pushing up at 39.50s here. So we're actually green on our trade, but we're pre-market right now, and we still got about 30 minutes before this opens. There might be a timer right above my head floating. I'm not saying there is. Listen, I'm not saying there is a timer floating right above my head, counting down the amount of time there might be until the FOMC meeting. I'm not saying it's there, but it might be right here. Just a weatherman, like over in this area right here. You know, this area right here. There could be a timer like floating up there, right there somewhere. You know, it's possible. Well, yeah, I think it's gotten so big where they want a part of it too. Yeah, so I posted this.
Okay, the problem with
Hello. Hey. All right, sorry, Carol called me, so we're back. I think if they could explain to the common non-tech person what crypto is, it would help. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize like blockchain is just a data storage system to where it effectively tracks the history and the chain of purchasing back time to time. So you can see exactly when it was mined and exactly where it came from. Right, that solves a lot of problems that solves a lot of the historical problems with online money, because the big issue with online money is it can be hacked, it can be faked, it can be cloned, it can do all these different things. But through blockchain technology, it's virtually impossible to do that, right? To hack it, to clone it, to create fake Bitcoin. It's virtually impossible. That is where the use case is that it tracks who buys it and sells it automatically, so that you don't have to keep some ledger of like yourself of that type of history, as well as it basically it makes it unhackable and unfakeable, right? So when somebody owns Bitcoin, you know they own it, and you can check back at the chain of history on who sold it to them, where they got it, you know, who they sell it to eventually as well, and you can go back all the way back through that chain. And that's why it's called a blockchain, to the person who originally mined it, like kind of like gold. And so that's where it has its inherent value, just in that usefulness. You know, it eliminates the need for the conventional banking ledger system, right? And that is also why the banks don't like it. Yeah, again, we bought Disney here. We're green in Disney. Again, our Tesla trade should be pretty green up here too. I'd like to sell. All right, we got a little bit there. Let's see if it sells me some more. All right, again, we got 25 shares left. We've skipped out. We made about $30 on Tesla, so it's a small trade, but We'll see if we get another little fill there. I'm just going to eliminate back down to 20 shares, and then I'll be okay with holding that after the opening bell. Like, I don't mind holding 20 shares after the open. Oh, it could be stolen. I mean, again, anything can be stolen, you know. Really, it's just all it is. So all mining cryptocurrency is, right? So all mining is, it's trying to guess the code of that token, right? So it's trying to guess the hash code for that token, right? So all mining is getting a really good computer and having that computer basically guess numbers until it gets it right, right? If it finally guesses the number right, it is mined, you know. That's basically all it is. But each one has a very unique, specific number, and so you buy a Bitcoin, you buy what? Yeah, so you have to look at a lot of cryptocurrencies like companies, like they're very similar to securities, right? When you buy Bitcoin, you're buying the company of Bitcoin. In essence, that's what you're buying, right? It's the company of Bitcoin. You know, cryptocurrencies are just a less regulated form of the market, in my opinion. I think that's what they are. And so, you know, especially a lot of these, they do IPOs. They call them ICOs, initial coin offerings. Very similar to the stock market. You know, like when you buy ETH, you're buying like Vitalik, you know, the founder and his community around that coin. It's very similar to the stock market. That's the same thing. You're funding, you know, a use. And in Bitcoin's case, you would be funding a version of online gold that a lot of people believe in. You know, and there's certainly a chance that it fails. I mean, anything's possible to fail, but again, I think a lot of people have some misconceptions about it. Maybe it's not unhackable. You can hack into anything. What I'm saying is you can't clone a Bitcoin and create a fake Bitcoin. You know, anybody can steal your address or steal your hard drive and get it. I mean, anybody could steal that. Yeah, look at crypto as a technology company more than a currency. You look at it like a currency, it's going to confuse you. Anyways, Disney's still pushing up. It's at 82.40s. We added a little bit to that again. We bought Tesla. The NASDAQ is still pushing up. Here's the Q. Again, here's Nvidia. Nvidia just went green on the day, and this is dragging the rest of the market up with it. So that's a lot of the reason the market's moving up right now. Don't buy, just trade crypto futures. Yeah, I mean, I understand it's a network. I'm trying to make people understand it a little bit more. So I'm trying to put it in terms that they're going to understand. And so what I'm saying is, like, you have to look at it like it's an organization or a company, and like you're buying an idea of technology, right? Like a technology idea is what I was trying to say, but maybe I said it the worst way. Yeah, I don't know if this is a short squeeze. I think the market's just been pushing back a lot over the last few days. And so I think this is just an extension bounce. You know, I think the market's pushed back a lot. And so if you look at the SPY, for instance, right now, NVIDIA back up to 417s. If you look at the SPY right now, again, a lot of people refuse to look at extension, right? So again, the SPY has been dropping basically since the 1st of September. So all September, the SPY has been slumping down. Basically all September, this is the price action of the SPY. And so when that happens, again, and we're down, we have a big red day like yesterday, the more likely outcome the next day is to get at least a little bounce back, right? Those are my favorite type of swing trades to get. And so I looking for something that's been beat down, and then I buy the dip. Now the SPY is a little bit different, but yeah. Now this bump up looks like a little bounce up, and then we might get another rejection, but I'm not sure. Yeah. All right, Tesla moving up again. Here is the SPY. SPY very green morning, mostly getting brought up by Nvidia and Tesla. Nvidia, Tesla, and other microchips are going up. And again, microchips have gotten beat down over the last few days. Nvidia back up to 430s. The low of the last couple of days is 420 even, like 420 even. We're back up to 436s, almost 440s. If we could break and hold over 440s, especially test 450, I think that's a great sign. Even if we don't go any higher than that, I think just holding over 430s, 440s is a great sign for Nvidia if it can. And again, with the rate hike today, it'll be really interesting to see what we get from all this stuff. But there's 444s right there on the SPY. No, I don't think so, Dr. Crypto. I don't think that's really going to affect the markets at all. Not the U.S. market, at least. So yeah, I just don't think it's going to affect the U.S. market, at least. I'm trying to see when they do it. When is that decision? I see the Hong Kong interest rate decision is today as well. I see the Bank of England rate decision is tomorrow morning. Jobless claims, Philly Fed index. Okay, so the Bank of Japan decision is tomorrow. So yeah, it's right at the end of the day. Thursday is what it is. So we're almost certainly not going to get a rate hike, BG. So we're almost certainly not going to get a rate hike. We're almost certainly going to pause or skip today, despite what people say. Yeah, I don't know why everybody thinks that we're going to raise today. I think it's confirmation bias. I think they want us to raise, and so... Bitcoin can't disappear. You might lose it. You might lose it, but that doesn't mean it just disappeared. It's somewhere, you know. Yeah, commercial real estate's been a huge struggle. They get. I mean, it kind of makes sense when you look at like the history of everything going down, right? So like if you look at the history of everything, it kind of makes sense. Commercials, real estate struggles. And again, I'm a real estate agent, so I see this more up close than a lot of other people. But a lot of real estate agents, especially like in commercial, they don't want to look at it objectively. They'll say, "Oh, the market's fine." To quote The Big Short, "Oh, we're just in a little bit of a gully." The problem is that we had the pandemic, right? And everybody started working from home because they had to. But once that stuff settled down a little bit, people realized that their margins are better. Businesses realized that their margins are better with remote work, and about the same amount of production gets done in terms of efficiency and production, right? The same amount gets there. They just don't have to pay rent on huge warehouses to fit everybody in. So now a lot of them are dumping the in-person work, and they're just going pure remote, and they're having better margins and better success as businesses. And so in turn, people are selling their commercial properties. And this has been going on for years and years and years now. And the high interest rates certainly don't help either. So like the super high interest rates definitely don't help either. So Yeah, it's a 99% of pause. Yeah, we've shown this a couple times already, the CME watch tool. So yeah, we've shown this already. Again, this is the probabilities right here. 99% think we're going to skip or pause. Only 1% think we're going to raise rates. If we look at this, so again, we look at the November meeting. In November has 70.8% of people think we're going to pause or skip. About 30% of people think we're going to raise rates in November. December meeting, 59%, 60% think we're going to pause or skip. So basically, most people think that we're not going to raise rates again this year. Now that can be good or bad. That could be good in which, it's good that people are optimistic. It's bad if this doesn't happen. If we do surprise raise rates, the market's going to be bearish and probably drop. And so it's good and bad here. Again, we can look at January as well. January is still pretty, far away, but most people still think we're going to pause all the way into January. Do you think there's more market manipulation in part due to all their new option ETFs? No. I shorted the market. I have faith with Burry. Hey, good luck, dude. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like it can't disappear. Again, it's from a deep misunderstanding of what cryptocurrency is. It's not just. I think like older people here, people lose their Bitcoin or that their wallet disappeared or whatever it is, right? And they hear people losing all this money in cryptocurrency, and they think that it just vanished. No, it's still there. It's still on the chain. It's somewhere. They might not have access to it anymore. They might have lost it. They might have thrown it away accidentally or forgot the password to it or whatever it is, but it's still there. It's still kicking. It's just not, they just don't have access to it anymore. That's what they mean when they say they lose it. It's not like it just disappears from here. Like the chain's still there, the number's still there, the hash is still there. The blockchain history is still there. They just might not have access to it anymore. CPI is not today. Ahad said, rest in peace to anyone who trades today before CPI. CPI is on the 12th. 99 problems, but a hike ain't one. Love it. EBET spikes, yeah, for sure. Again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep is a funded account program for futures in which they give you a demo, they test your skill. We're going to get ready to day trade in futures. So we're going to get ready to day trade. Again, we're still in Tesla. We got to keep a little eye on that one. Yesterday, I think we made money in futures. I'll have to go check. All right, so here's the E-mini. Basically the SPY right here. So let me make sure. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and trade our funded account for the first trade this morning. Market's up so much though, so yeah, here's our funded account. Goal is to build up a couple $100 and then pivot to something else once we do. But again, you can see the E-mini here is the SPY. So if you want to day trade, look, you can see the SPY, you can see the E-mini. It's the same thing. This is the S&P 500 futures contract. This is the S&P 500 ETF, right? So it's the same price action, and you can basically day trade the SPY and futures with no PDT rule in this. It's called the E-mini. You could day trade short. I could buy market, sell market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks, but there's no PDT rule in futures. And TopStep is the most legit funded program in the world. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the target on their demo while following their rules and conditions, they fund you between $50K to $150K with a 90% split. And they are the most legit one in the world. They pay out millions every year in actual withdrawals, fund thousands of traders a year. And it's much better to learn how to trade this way. If you are trying to find profitability day trading, this is probably what you want to do, because it's only $49 for the base one. You got to make $3K without losing $2K in that demo account. If you can do so, which is a reasonable 2 to 3 ratio, if you can do so, they fund you, and if you follow their rules at least, which is really useful. So you have a very low entry fee. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. It's out $49. You're going to lose much more than that putting up the money yourself most of the time, I would say. But if you're good enough to pass it, you still get 90% split. You still get to keep your first 10K of profit. And so in that regard, it makes perfect sense for traders. And again, if you want to check them out, here is the link. We'll post it here. Great way to help support your boy in this channel. They are a sponsor of mine, so I'm definitely biased because they pay me money. But check them out. Great way to help support the channel. Yeah, what Powell says is going to mean the most. lost coins only make everyone else's worth more. Maybe just 25% more. Maybe, yeah. I know. We'll see. Again, I think the Fed said that I think the Fed is very balanced, and we raised rates last time, and now we're going to skip, and then we might raise rates in November, I think, but it depends on what happens here. It depends on what CPI and specifically, I think next week is the PCE data. The personal consumption expenditure data is next Wednesday or next Friday. Let me see. I think it's next Friday. Let me check. But yeah, the personal consumption expenditure is the Fed's preferred inflationary gauge, right? So what the PCE comes in at is going to influence what the Fed decides to do in November. Yeah, and so the 29th, we get PCE data. Core PCE is the most important. They're expecting 0.2%, 0.2% for core PCE, right? So there's multiple, so we explained FOMC rate hike decisions and what they meant earlier. FOMC rate hike decisions are used to curb inflation, and they do so by making banking more expensive, and banks raise interest rates. And so the people who are hurt the most by rate hikes are banks, right? So that's the first thing to understand. When their margins are hurt, they raise rates on consumers, they raise interest rates. That makes people stop spending when interest rates go up, and then in turn, businesses lower pricing, and thus we combat inflation with rate hikes. At least that's the logic behind it. It doesn't always work exactly like that, but anyways, now what the Fed uses to gauge inflation, there's multiple different ones. What retail watches the most is CPI. It's the Consumer Price Index. It drops once a month. We cover it every month. We cover it here. Now, that's one of the ways that the Fed looks at inflation, but the Fed's preferred inflationary gauge or metric is called the PCE data, the core PCE data specifically, which excludes food and energy. So they look at core, which excludes food and energy, PCE data, personal consumption expenditure data. That drops next Friday, right? Not the movie, the date next Friday. That's when this number comes out. And again, they're expecting for core PCE 0.2% on the month and 4.2% year over year. So we'll see what happens, but that's an interesting thing as well to watch. And then I think Jerome Powell also speaks. I think he has some type of speech with teachers, if I remember correctly, coming out. So yeah, I think he has some type of speech with let me see, this month. All right, so yeah, the Fed speaks today, but let me look at the calendar. So we had Bowman, Barr speaking, Cook speaks on Friday. We got the FOMC meeting, interest rates. I thought Powell spoke sometime later this month for teachers. Let me see. So this one's titled Conversations with the Chair, a Teacher Town Hall Meeting. This is on September 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Powell will respond to questions from the in-person audience and virtual participants from across the country. And he's going to do the opening remarks. So we'll probably stream this as well, although it might not be the most relevant to markets here. Yeah, email me, Jessica, beginnertrading@gmail.com. We'll talk about it. I'm going to have to send you a contract and a W-9 or whatever it is, but I specifically need, yeah, we'll talk about it. Right, that's exactly right, Mark. It's like saying the dollar got hacked because somebody stole your wallet. Disney's still trying to move up, but again, NVIDIA trying to hold. NVIDIA is one of the ones that's influencing the market the most. There's NVIDIA at 436.40s here, 436.40s. All right, guys, couple minutes, couple minutes. All right, guys. Again, what do you think we get today here? E-mini at 4,500. Again, Nvidia up to 437s roughly. Try to get back over 440s for Nvidia. We'll see if it actually holds. But look, you can kind of see it right there. That might be a big milestone level to watch. So I'm gonna mute the music real quick. Hold on. All right. So again, we'll see if we get a bounce. I see this trend. Yeah, I'm not sure, Casey. I'm not sure. I don't think it's super easy to predict. I think we've been dropping for the last few days. I think the Fed. I think people are getting baked into a pulse, but I don't know if anybody knows how the Fed's going to react or say. But maybe we could all guess. But it's all guesses really for the most part. Um, hmm. All right. All right, team. Yeah, that's weird. Sorry, I'm watching this video. All right. All right, let me put the music back on. Put the music back on. There we go. All right. So again, guys, just a heads up here. Again, today is FOMC rate hike day. It is a day of historical volatility in which we get generally a lot of volatility in days like today. A lot of choppiness, a lot of volatility is what we get in days like today. And so just be smart, be careful. Um, the that is usually going to be after 2 p.m. prior to 2 p.m. right? So the rate hike decision goes live at 2 p.m. Prior to that, it's very common to have choppy sideways neutral activity. Not a lot of good activity, not a lot of really reliable activity in markets. It could be very slow, very choppy, apprehensive. You got to think about the logic behind it, in which most big banks and traders do not want to take huge size ahead of this meeting because the meeting could wildly influence their predictions, their technical analysis, all that stuff. So a lot of the time we get choppiness heading into these reports. Should be understandable. And so I guess the overarching point I'm making is just trade smart, be smart, be risk averse. Okay. Don't push too heavy in days like today because it's kind of, again, historically, it's a time of choppiness. And that's not even including the fact that it's slow September right now. September is the worst month of activity in markets, the worst month for volatility, and historically very slow and losing as well. And so it is leading into an FOMC meeting in the slowest month of the year. And so what that ultimately means is the market could be very flat leading up to this report. And so be careful. Don't take crazy big size. If you lose, don't keep pushing. Some days, no matter how hard you push, you're not going to make money. And so if you keep pushing on days like today, whenever the market could be flat or sideways, those are the account destroying days. So just be smart. Be careful. Tesla's starting to bounce up. We actually have gotten some volatility, although a lot of stuff's flat and sideways too. But Tesla hasn't looked bad. Again, we've been in Tesla all morning, kind of trend trading it, sitting in this trend. I'll probably try to take a little bit more off before the open. You can kind of see the trend here. All right, we're just gonna lock this in. We'll get out the rest. So we're only in 10 shares of Tesla now. We covered most of it. Nvidia is still testing again that 370 or that 437 level. So still trying to break 437. Yeah, I don't give advice. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Me telling people to be careful and not take super large size and trade risk averse is certainly not going to be considered telling people what to do. You know, y'all can do whatever you want. If I was saying, hey, buy this or sell this or do this or take these big trades, that's different. But telling people to be careful is not wrong. You know, I mean, I get it. People might not have much to criticize me on because, listen, I mean, we're handsome, you know. We got great stock market community here. You know what I mean? I get it. It might be like grasping at straws, trying to hate on me, but like, listen, it's all right. Now you can check out the link in the description. There's no code. It just automatically does it. Long on Doge? Yeah. Not me, bro. Yeah, all good. All right, so again, Disney falling down a little bit. We got 3 or 4 minutes until the market opens. Nvidia pulling back down a little bit, and this might weigh on markets too. So look at Nvidia dip. So Nvidia falling back down some. Yeah, it's a slower day. We don't have any economic reports today, really. So it's just kind of boring, but. I'm gonna buy this, although it's risky. This is my funded account program on Top Step. Goal is to build up a small cushion today first if we can. I got a little pop up. This is the regular S&P 500. It's not the NASDAQ, which is a little bit more volatile normally. So this is even slower mover today. So I usually trade the NASDAQ, but I'm choosing to trade the S&P today because the market's kind of flat. And this has a smaller range and a little bit safer to trade on days like today. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes. I do want to cut this before the opening bell. I certainly don't want to hold this through the open, although I do think it's in a nice little pullback zone, and Tesla's bouncing off of that low, and Nvidia's bouncing back up too. But I don't want to hold this throughout the opening bell, so we'll see what we get, but I'm not trying to hold this through the open. John, do you get paid sponsor offers from companies other than investing? Yes. Yeah, I do. I get a lot of VPNs, no manscaping stuff. I get a lot of wallets, a lot of VPNs, a lot of social media platforms, a lot of like Udemy type course platforms. I mean, I get a lot of like, again, people don't understand how much like somebody like a YouTube channel with over 100K subs, like, bro, if y'all saw my inbox, I get messaged all day, bro, to the point where I have to like yell back at them, please stop messaging me. Like, I'm not interested. Like, please stop messaging me. Like, again, if I look at this, if my Google account here, like, look, I'm going to take a picture of this. Hold on, I got to watch this. All right, we got 2 minutes. Like, watch. Grape, Surfshark, Kava, Bookmap, Bitch. This is Quant Tower, Bookmap, Business Offer. You know what I mean? Prime XBT. Yeah, so you just get a lot, man. It's nonstop. I remember when I used to desperately want sponsors, but I really don't accept a lot of them. Like most of the time, I'm very selective with sponsors. I only have 2 sponsors, and I'm very selective over them. All right, I'm probably gonna cut this. I don't want to be stuck in this long term, and so, and I'm seeing some slumps ahead of the open. I'm just gonna get out here small and lose 25, 35 bucks. I just don't trust it enough to hold this, and especially into the open with 40 seconds left, it's just too risky. Yeah, it's the FOMC meeting. Looks like me cutting this was right. S&P dipped a little bit at the opening, but we got 20 seconds left, guys. 20 seconds. All right, here's the opening bell, team. There's the open, ding, ding, ding. There's the opening bell. NVIDIA still over the previous closing price, but it looks like me cutting the S&P was the right move because we are getting big turnarounds. I'm still in Tesla right now too, and I'm probably just going to cover this right now and wait. Made about, small amount of money on my little pre-market scalp, but we're going to still watch it. But the S&P started to dip, and maybe we'll add back. Man, maybe that was the wrong move to cover. Tesla all the way back up to 267. This might get us to buy this. All right, we got 1 contract of the regular E-mini. What I don't like is NVIDIA breaking under that previous closing price, though. I do not like that at all. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cover this too. So we're probably down like 50 bucks on the day. I saw in Tesla starting to bounce, but then I saw NVIDIA crack under that previous closing price, and that's just not what I want. You see how much I'm down. This is my actual funded account. I don't want to give too much gains back because I haven't had a losing day in like 5 or 6 days. And so I don't need to fight to keep that back too. Yeah, I'm down to 75 bucks. So I'll let my losses go to like 125 or so, but I'm not going to give much back. Again, I've had roughly 86% daily accuracy on my funded account program. And again, I just don't want to give that back. E-mini with the big red action. And so we'll see if this is getting front loaded into what the market might potentially do heading into the opening bell. Again, Honeywell managed and treated me really well. I'm still in Honeywell. And it is just consistently going up pretty regularly. Go ahead and lock some more of that in just because I can. We just took some more off of Honeywell. What's my green one? Target. Disney, American Express, Tyson Foods. What is going up? Oh, Disney. Nice. Home Depot. Hey, my Home Depot trade's paying out. What else did I buy? I bought Home Depot. Bought MGM. Okay. MGM we're flat on. NVIDIA's still breaking down. Look at that breakdown here. I'm going to short this now. It's risky. I'm going to take 2 contracts and that's it. 2 contracts short. All right, we're flat. Slightly green now. Flat. We're sitting in this flat. I want to see if we break down more. Very close to cutting this too if it pushes up anymore. I want to give it time to consolidate and break down, but I'm also not going to hold this forever. Look at Nvidia dump. That's good. Tesla falling down too. What's Apple doing though? Apple could be the one that kind of pulls me away from this green. Apple's still going down too. So what's holding the market up right now? Anything? What's green today, I guess, is the question. Amazon, maybe? It's taking too long. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it. So yeah, we're down. We lost like 200 bucks. And that'll probably be it on this funded account. Again, we've had 6 green days in a row, and so I can't really complain that much. I really can't. We might be right too. I think we might flush down too, but it's just taking too long. Again, we took our swings, and I'm not going to keep pushing on FOMC day. Nvidia bouncing back up though. Look at Nvidia test the previous closing price. The problem is that it might reject here. The rate hike's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See, I think I would have made money. I just, patience. We're going to go with small size today too. I don't want to push too hard into this. It's weird, like we're flat right now. But I feel like we might get a reversal. Red to green move coming is what it feels like to me. And yeah, there's a pop-up. So I'm going to get out of this one too right here. Maybe the NASDAQ. Maybe I should just stick with the NASDAQ, bro. Yeah, I mean it's a pre-FOMC day. Look at Nvidia breakdown. I'm going to switch to the NASDAQ here, guys. Like I said, I'm going to try the NASDAQ. We'll see if it treats me well, though. But again, I feel like we're going to reverse and head back up. Hold on, my computer sounds like a rocket ship, so it's taking a little lot of load. I probably got too many windows up. I got to close my browsers. Should have gone with my intuition because the market ended up ripping. Wait, did it load? I got a bunch of funded accounts, or I got a bunch of accounts, some funded, some not. And so I'm kind of working on both. But look at Tesla rip. So Tesla back over 267s. My stock portfolio is doing pretty well. Again, mostly Honeywell doing nice. Snapchat reversing back up. Target back up. Tyson Foods green. Exxon's still pushing up. Exxon obviously is treating me really well in this age where oil's flying. Yeah, I usually stick with the NASDAQ. It's just better for my style. But we did get this big reversal back up, a red to green move. Like I said, I thought we might get one. I should have gone with my intuition more. We pumping her. Yeah, but I have like 120 gigs of RAM. Let me check this person's history, and if this person has said more than one negative thing, they're just gonna get banned in here. I never understood the people that go to people's stream and just kind of talk smack. Must struggle with like life, I guess. Let's see who this person is. Yeah. Good day to you, sir. Yeah, we'll see what happens to the meeting. Honestly, the market's gone down big at the open, up big at the open. I mean, you guys know me. I don't claim to be good. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't sell a course. I don't sell my own service. I don't act like a guru. I don't charge for any of my content. Everything we put out there is free. And I don't even claim to be some super profitable trader because I'm not trying to be a day trading guru. Like, y'all could go follow somebody that's like selling you a course and selling you a service and claiming to be an expert and acting like a guru. Almost certainly they're misleading you, but you know. All I know, if I wanted to follow somebody, it would probably be somebody that told me the truth, even if it meant they had to tell everybody, like, you know, they're not a guru. They're not an expert. Yeah, I mean, market's trying to come back up. Again, I thought we might get a red to green. We said that like 10 minutes ago, and that's exactly what we got. Maybe not 10, maybe like 5. But that's what we got. Again, I can see NVIDIA doing the U-shaped breakout, and I see Tesla doing it as well. But again, today might be a choppy day, so it might be something like this as well, where we get a U-shaped breakout pattern. That's possible. Where we do like a U-shaped breakout pattern, that's certainly possible. The other possibility is that we're choppy, and so we do a U-shape, back down, back up, back down, back up, and we just kind of go choppy sideways for the rest of the day. Both of those are very possible. Hey, thank you, UB. I appreciate the support, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, if I had to follow somebody, I would follow somebody that was like super handsome, you know, with brown hair and brown curly hair, and that, you know, consistently, you know, ranked in the top 3 of all things ever in the world for sure. Humility, you know, just top 3 most humble people ever in the world. You know, humility flows through him like water, is all I'm saying. Look, somebody like that, maybe their name starts with a J, and he's got an LSU hat on right now. You know, that's all I'm saying. You know, I don't know who that is, but you know, no, stocks are doing well. Again, we're down in futures for sure today. Stocks are green, so kind of split down the middle. I'm really tempted to buy this dip, so I think I might. Let me make sure my account's right. Here, my baby boy Bruce. All right, we just bought again 1 contract at the NASDAQ here. Let's see if it punishes me. All right, green. Slightly green. And punished. Not quite yet. Weird. Definitely some buying pressure showing up the last few minutes, but... All right, just made about $100. I'll take it. Now we made $80. No, I'm gonna take a break. All right, so we're trying to get a bounce here. Again, we'll see if it holds. How dare you call my music elevator music? You're banned for life in here. No, I'm just messing with you, man. You could not like my music. It's okay. And again, I'm not really super sensitive to criticism. It depends on if the person is like a regular member of the community who also says other things besides criticizing. That's one thing, right? But if the person's just coming here and they're sitting around and they're waiting to talk smack because they're insecure about their own life and they're just trying to make other people miserable, then that's who I'll just ban them and not, worry about them. So it depends, I'm definitely top 3 most sensitive people to criticism ever in the world, but like, it depends on that standard. Older playlist is better. I could go back in time, bro. Honestly, this playlist is like 6. It's literally got days of music. So it's actually kind of work for me to scroll all the way back to the old songs, but I'll do that just for y'all. Just for you guys, I'll go all the way back to the old music. The old music was better. This is not even like my chosen music. I just went to Beats playlist and I play this. But my music is actually better. So like, look, if I go back, most people are going to agree that this music is going to be better. So. Yeah, I'm trying to find some old stuff. Hold on. There's a lot of old songs. There we go. Jazz. You're probably the only chill trader who knows his stuff. I see many obnoxious ones who trade useless callouts. Yeah, for sure. What's up, board? Yeah, the older one's better for sure. Nah, these are actually like, a lot of these are good. Like some of the, like the music I'm playing right now is pretty good. I like this song. Nvidia ripping up, breaking high. So is Tesla moving up again. We got the cup and handle breakout patterns, and stocks are kind of bouncing up the same way. But no, these are actual, like, somebody has to create this music. It's actually much more difficult than it seems to create music like this. You got to have good rhythm. All right, Nvidia ripping up. This might drag the rest of the market up too, specifically, again, Nvidia. I'm not from New Orleans. I'm from Baton Rouge. So, like, I'm from, like, 45 minutes from New Orleans. But it's a different city completely. Baton Rouge is actually Louisiana state capital. And weird, the E-mini is actually going a little bit different than the NASDAQ here, but a lot of it's going up right now. Part of me wants to buy Nvidia here too. All right, so we're trading on one of our accounts here, and we're green about $105. We're about to take some more profit into the E-mini though. All right, so there we go. We just took some more. We're up about 120. Got a little cushion on the day. We'll see if this helps us or not. Yeah, so I think most people agree this music's a little bit better than the other generic music I was playing. I'm still trying to figure out how you don't have a New Orleans accent, though. I mean, number one, I've lived in Texas now for over a decade. Look at the market turning here. Look at Tesla turning, Nvidia turning. Tesla is really what turned. The whole market's not really turning, but Tesla has for sure. I definitely have a Louisiana accent to a certain extent. I'll hear other people from Louisiana in my stream be like, "Hey, I can tell you're from Baton Rouge, or I can tell you're from Louisiana." But a Baton Rouge accent is much more different than a Louisiana or than a New Orleans accent. You know, it's just a different thing. New Orleans is. I'm not gonna do it because I'm terrible at it, but it's like I'm from New Orleans. You know, it's almost like a city accent, almost like a really city accent. Where like a lot of people compare it to like Jersey or, you know, somewhere like that. Baton Rouge is less of a big city accent. It's not like full Cajun accent, but it's somewhere in the middle. It's more of just kind of broader country accent, if that makes sense. But I've lost a lot of my accent over the years, especially running these streams where I talk every day, and especially in like trading. I think people a lot of the times correlate accents like that with, you know, negative things sometimes. But I don't necessarily think it's negative. I love my hometown. I haven't, you know, it's been a while since I've been there. My wife's not from Michigan. All right, so NVIDIA bouncing at that previous level. So again, look at this support level. So we drew 437s. Remember, guys, we drew this 437 on NVIDIA. They'll say technical analysis doesn't work. We drew this before the opening bell. And like, look at this 437 level. It tested it. It finally broke over it. It held support. It bounced right off of it. And so whole dollars are a lot of the time the easiest support and resistance levels to chart. You know, I say dude a lot as well. Like I'll call my son, like, well, I'll say a mix of dude, bro, brother, you know. But it's a Southern thing. It really is. Like, it's hard to explain. All right, so we're watching NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is leading the market. I think it's influencing a lot. Tesla is too, but Tesla's starting to crack under these lows. All right, so we're at 437s here, 437s for NVIDIA. Back at that level we talked about. It's trying to hold. Tesla breaking down though. So again, my hands are going to be off the buttons for now. I just don't trust the market here. I remember we do have I might try to buy this dip. One contract. I gotta make sure this is not my funded account. The reason I keep checking this, I just want to make sure it's not my funded account. I don't want to give back more on that account today, so no, it's not. So that's good. All right. NVIDIA's starting to pop up. We got a cushion, so we'll play with this cushion for today. That way, if we lose, we're break even or close to it. If we win, we'll win a little bit more. But we got to be very risk averse today. Up $40, $60. We'll go ahead and lock that in. Wait, what? Oh, we're gonna buy this again and see if we get a pop up. Catching that. Just made another 60. So for whatever reason, it didn't credit me the first one, but that's all right. We're up about 160 on the day. Very choppy day though. Netflix, Nvidia, Tesla, both Nvidia green, Tesla back over the previous closing price, and Nvidia still breaking highs. That's what's dragging the market back up too. Apple is actually red on the day though. So Target's trying also. Hey, nice, David. Congrats, bro. Yeah, big pal. John, do you have a goal for retiring early? Yeah, I'd like to retire early. But again, I mean, I've saved up enough in real estate mostly. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go to close it down already because we haven't really gotten any good price action. We made a little bit on some, lost a little bit on other accounts. But again, we're going to go and close it down. If you haven't already, check out Top Step. And again, we will be back later on today. The rate hike decisions at 2 p.m. We're going to start streaming earlier than that. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, check out some of our sponsors. Top Step is a sponsor of mine. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between 50K up to 150K. We traded a little bit on a Combine Challenge account and a little bit on our funded account today. We've been funded in multiple accounts over the last couple months. And yeah, again, if you want to test your skill, again, you can buy market, sell market, buy bid, sell the ask. This is the NASDAQ, which is basically the QQQ is the NASDAQ. You can also check out, you can also check out the S&P 500 and what's called the SPY. There's just a lot of ways to day trade, and your risk is smaller. It's $49 for the base combine versus what you're risking. Usually if you put up thousands yourself, you're risking much more than that. And so it's just the best of both worlds where you got limited risk. If you buy the base one, especially, but if you're good enough to pass it, you get a lot of the benefits. And just taking the challenge builds your skill in futures, and there's no PDT there. So that's why you trade futures, because there's no PDT rule like stocks. If you want to check it out, there's the link. Great way to help support the channel. And I'll be back a little bit later on. And yeah, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Good luck.